Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you once again 250 miles above your imagination from the International Space Station. I have my good friend Something Wong with me here tonight, my co-pilot and engineer, and he is here to make sure that we successfully brainwash you into thinking for yourself. Sorry, I haven't been on for a while. I've been busy. We had visitors. Mike Labrash from the Truther Hour of Comedy was here over the weekend, and we went to the dwarf wrestling in Woodstock, Virginia. We also went to the Luray Caverns, and oh my God, we ran all over the God's creation. It was really quite lovely. And found out some interesting things. Altitude does not agree with Mike. We tried to go up on the Skyline Drive, and it was the air was too thin for him. He couldn't do it. I don't blame him. He's not used to it. He's from way down here in the flatland foreign area of Virginia, way over on the other side of the state. So anyway, did you notice my cool shirt? It's like, see this pocket? See this pocket? This is handy. This is the latest in military technology. It's so you can hide things like a pack of cigarettes, right? Now look, see, now it just looks like a clump of leaves, like a forest or something. No one would be the wiser that there's actually a pack of cigarettes in there. But shoot, me and Something Wrong, we know for sure. So wow, yeah, we went. If you haven't seen it, I put up a 2-part video of I don't know how that. Oh yeah, because I cut it off between match. You know, they had like an intermission time, which was perfect. You go outside, hit your vape, go back inside. It was beautiful. It came right out in the audience and was fighting with us, or amongst us on the right. Dude came right out onto my lap. It was crazy. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And the Luray Caverns, of course, I've got that. I think I posted that. I'm pretty sure. If I didn't, maybe I only did it on Facebook. I think I only did it on Facebook. I'll have to get that up on YouTube and make sure that it is. So, anyways, my goodness, look at leaves hidden in leaves. I know it's like what? It's the latest in military technology. Chicago Cubby Bear, it is, and it's like this is why we're America. We're number one. We're on top and shit. Yeah, that's it. It's not because we got an open checkbook with no limit. Well, no, conspiracy theorists don't talk about those things. So, who's been able to see the elephant in the front room? Huh? Do you see it yet? Does anybody see it yet? Lucky Haskins, you old dog. I got to say, we're going to get into some stuff here in a minute. This is pretty interesting. I'm going to give a shout out to the people I've got in my show here tonight visiting. We've got Andrew B here, 8 days until the next trivia. Yes, I know I'm nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I will be appearing on Melodome on the, what's the date? 8 days from now. I have a community post up about it. There's a video promo on my channel as well as on Melodome. Bless my old ass, I have to use my little calendar all the time now. It's really getting crazy. There's Burn the Corporate Fiction. If you did not get a chance to see his video concerning connections to Will Duffy, you'll have to go over to Rumble to see it or come over to my channel because someone had it removed. Isn't that crazy? That's okay. I still have copies of it and it's on Rumble, and you know, I gotta say we gotta really look at it hard, you know. I smelled a rat when it was first unveiled. Then I started finding rat turds, and now it's just full-fledged. You see it. So anyway, who we got in here? We got Mr. Super Sidewinders here. Joyce B. Chilling is with us. Iron 26. Haha, yes, someone who can read Roman numerals. Jehovah's lovely daughter Barbara is with us. Melodome there. Speak of the devil, no pun intended. The man behind the trivia challenge show. I'm much honored that he would ask me to participate in that. I thank you very much, Austin. And if you feel the need, come on up. Hell yeah. Unless you're at work, of course. That's okay. Yeah, July 10th at 5 p.m. July 10th at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. Jeremy Bird's here as well. Let's see. Billy Labadie, the Batty. That's what that means in French. Joyce B's here with us. Who else? Carrie Skates. Carrie Skates. Where you been, Carrie Skates? We haven't seen you in a little bit here, I don't think. Saddle Bum is with us. Good to see you as well. There's Martin Cox. Martin Cox, how are you, my friend, from across the ponds? And we have No Longer on the Ball. Good to see you, Joel. Hell yeah, the founder of the True Earth Wiki. Awesome site. Y'all got to check that out. Let's see. Who else do I have in here that I haven't said anything? David Young. You know, somebody said, I assume that you're going to be talking about your son's video. Well, we probably mentioned a little bit of it. I think it speaks for itself. I kind of go by the adage, you got to be careful, birds of a feather, and it just kind of didn't ring real good. And then, of course, Nachikita. Give a shout out to Nachikita channel. He did well over 8 hours. I watched a good portion of it. Covered a lot of the same stuff. Went a little deeper, even, I think. So, yeah, there was some shenanigans I see in that aspect of it that did not help the case, and it did not help what my gut was telling me about this. Of course, as I've mentioned before, as soon as I found out McToon was involved, I knew that there was some shit in the punch. Okay, that's just pretty much I pretty much figured that right to begin with. And then as we find the associations and doings and tight connections between Duffy and Bob Enyart, did not help the case any. But now, come on, it was already bad enough, all these coincidences, right? Flat Earth Banjo put out a video here recently showing that, you know, just coincidentally, some other self-made rich guy in South America was doing the same thing as Duffy is doing here. What's the fucking odds, right? And why all of a sudden this year? Why all of a sudden this year? We've had people down in Antarctica for the better part of a century. Am I correct or not? Yes? Yes? Okay. Isn't there any kind of actual non-fake documentation of this phenomena they're supposedly going to go see? Why would anybody drop six figures so somebody else can go and witness something like this? And then here's where the coup de grace comes in. Lo and behold, just by coincidence, hang on one second. I gotta go over to this and just bring it up so you can see it for yourself. I don't know if you've been keeping up with this final psyop or not, but this was a recent video we just saw come up. Okay, yeah, there's been two of them. Okay, the first one is called Now Neil deGrasse Tyson wants to go, and he's talking about bringing William Shatner. Is anybody seen this yet? What started out is, oh, we're just going to go get a couple of flat earthers and some globers to go to Antarctica to witness this thing so we can set it to rest once and for all, even though we've got people have been in Antarctica for the better part of a century at least. Isn't that crazy? Well, so now we got Neil deGrasse Tyson involved, gonna go, and he's gonna bring William Shatner. Okay, and then it gets worse because another one that you know is controlled opposition. He's out there to sway opinion, controlled opposition. I'm going to show you what this latest one is, and that is that now this one, if the previous one with Neil deGrasse Tyson and William Shatner didn't throw up any more red flags with trumpets for you, now we've got this. Now we've got Tim Pool is offering to send Alex Stein to Antarctica. What? This is really getting bizarre. This is, if you cannot see this for what it is, this glowworm agent, and I'm talking about you, Will Duffy, you glow like a glowworm. You're not fooling anyone. You're not some benevolent pastor that just comes out of, oh, I happen to have some money because I sold some get-rich-quick books. And even though I've been sued 4 times for losing other people's money, I made wise decisions for myself and just happened to be 33 years old when I became rich. And I have nothing better to do with my money as a Christian pastor than to finance some random fucking strangers that I emailed to go to Antarctica because I'm a benevolent pastor. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with that shit, man. Good God, you could smell this turd a mile away. And people are still buying into it. Oh, yeah, Duffy, he's such a nice guy. That motherfucker's he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And you better realize that, man. Yeah, Valley Park's Alex Stein. Clownorama Alex Stein. Come on, man. This thing is going to be complete with watch. Fucking CNN, TMZ is going to be a big media fucking debacle. Can you say Behind the Curve 2.0? Anybody? Holy crap. And the whole thing is that they overplay their fucking hand all the time. That's what gives them away. They can't fucking control themselves. They have to overplay their hand every time. Every time. They can't just go, oh, you know, I think the flat earth is stupid. Just whatever. Who would listen to that? No. They have to go on full-fledged campaigns. Listen, this thing has gotten so bizarre. Let me tell you something. It was bad enough they'd already been starting a bunch of flat earth groups run by globetard trolls and shit all over Facebook. But now they ain't even hiding it. They got one out there today. I saw it called, what the hell is it called? Please help stop the stupid flat earth or some shit like that. Let me see if I can find the name of this thing. And it's nothing but globetards, all with the same stupid shit that they always say. Every single last one of them. Let me see if I can find where that was. Let's see. Yes, stop the hilariously stupid flat earth madness. That's the name of the channel. Let me just show it to you real quick. There it is. Stop the hilariously stupid flat earth madness. Why? If it's not true, and there's nothing to it, why are you fucking people panicking so damn hard? Huh? Why? Lucky Haskins once again picked it right out on the fucking, hit it right on the nose today. I was thinking the exact same damn thing. I saw his video come up and I goes, oh boy, I got to see what he says on this. Holy shit. Yes. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Watch the way this fool talks too, man. This is what gets me. This guy. Oh my God. I can't even halfway stand to watch him even talk. Because you know he's just a fucking liar, man. And I'm going to speed him up just a little bit too. There we go. Let me Now this is the Tim Pool and Alex Stein. I'm going to go back. Well, we'll go to that other one with Shatner. This, I mean, oh, by coincidence, blah, blah, blah. Look at it. It's a scoreboard. Yeah. Even though we've had people down in Antarctica for the better part of the century, and the best we can come up with is fake fucking videos, we're going to go and see for ourselves because I'm just a benevolent pastor that has nothing better to do with my money. And my connections to this weirdo fucking state actor, Bob Earhart, well, shit. That's nothing. I didn't know any better. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, you deceitful bastard.
A really big update today.
Oh, big update.
If you're thinking it's not big because you've never heard of Tim Pool or Alex Stein, let me catch you up on who they are. If you haven't heard of them, you definitely need to get around a little more on the YouTube and podcast world. Tim Pool is an American political commentator. He has combined on his two YouTube
and controlled opposition
channels over 3 million subscribers. And he has a podcast on news, culture, and politics. Check him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're a few minutes late. Sorry. We're multi-streaming on X and Rumble. It's massive bandwidth on our end. So hopefully this all works out really well. But it means all three have to be synced before we can actually start the show, lest one get cut off. We got some big news. Tonight is history. It is the presidential debate, Biden v. Trump. The first time a former president will be debating the sitting president for the next term as
Now, that's all you need to know right there. This guy's already immersed into the fucking left-right fake puppet show paradigm. Why does anybody even give a shit what the fuck he's got? He's definitely not about truth. If he actually thinks that this debacle of a show is something real, is this guy really a truther? Is he really? No, he's not. He's an image that's promoted by YouTube to be out there to be the controlled opposition. Dude, come on. I'm always suspicious of a fucking channel that's got huge goddamn subscribers, lots of bells and whistles, all kinds of different camera work and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Come on.
president, and it's going to be exciting.
And then if you haven't heard of Alex Stein, let me explain to you what he does and what he's known for. So Alex Stein, what he does is he goes, so he, signs up to, just watch him.
And we do have.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Act like, we were just talking. I just brought that up just a minute ago. I gave a shout out. Now, Chiquita, he went deeper. He went 8 hours. Ryan went a long time. Somebody complained about it finally and took it down, but that's too late. It already had a bunch of views. It's huge on Rumble. It's been restreamed on Rumble. It's actually still on YouTube as well if you look for it. Somebody you might know real good and watch all the time probably has it right there on their channel. I don't know who that could be. Maybe this guy. But anyway, you want to check it out? Check it out. Go over to Nachikitas. Check that out. I mean, I think it's very, your associations are going to reveal a lot about yourself. It really is. And unfortunately, we found that the associations of Will Duffy and some of his dealings in the past have been what you would call less than reputable. Okay, so the image that he's promoting is not the true image of Will Duffy. Know that. He's an actor.
I have some speakers this evening. The first one is Alex Stein.
Yeah, I mean, watch this fucking clown. Yeah, it's funny, but this is who you're going to
Hello, Council. My name's Primetime99 Alex Stein, and I have a little presentation for you today. I have a little audio accompaniment, but I want to take a moment to think about the people of Ukraine and what they're going through. So I prepared a little song for them. Let me turn this on. I really want to try to help the people out there. Okay, guys? So let me just get it going. They call me Primetime99 Alex Stein. Hope you guys like my flavor. Come on.
And I got to say this too, man. I remember when he was on that fucking Globebusters show. He was like the one guy on there I wish that they would just like get rid of, because he was just he couldn't stick with the conversation. He'd act like a complete fucking clown. And I can understand injecting a little bit of humor and shit from time to time on something like that. But this guy was really a detraction. Again, I think he's one of these promoted fucking things that they put out there, man. Because let's face it, if you or I went up to a fucking town council meeting and started doing that, they'd have the goddamn cops bum rush your ass, You know that.
Prime time, 99, on the grind, all the time. Go insane for Ukraine.
Most of you already knew who these two people were, but now that we all know who they are, let me give you a little bit of backstory. So quite a few months ago, they were talking together, and Alex Stein brought up Antarctica. And Tim Pool had a conversation with him, and they had a little bit of a disagreement, as Alex Stein is in the flat earth camp and Tim Pool is not. And Tim Pool actually said that he would pay to send Alex Stein to Antarctica. Check it out.
If you want to go on an expedition, ain't nobody stopping you.
That's not true.
Where are you? Like, where does this story come from that you can't go to Antarctica?
You can go to Antarctica. There's no independent exploration. So if I go to Antarctica, it's government approved.
That's funded.
Well, no, I would. There's actually people that are trying to do that. I'll be the first one to go, and then you can send me to space too. I want to go to the International Space Station.
How much do you think we need to get you to traverse Antarctica?
I don't know. It's probably $100,000. I'm guessing.
That's it. Let's do it. Done.
I'll go to Antarctica right now.
Look, man, these people are tossing around Bitcoin real loosely. For something, and think about this. This is what I think is so telling about it, is the fact that we've had people in Antarctica, in all different regions of Antarctica now, for the better part of a century. At least. And you mean to tell me in all of that time, the best that they could have is spliced videos of a 24-hour sun? Why is this right now, all of a sudden, a big hot button thing? Do you think that perhaps the controllers may be directing it this direction and people just glom onto it? I think that's exactly what it is. There's a lot more behind this than what meets the eye. And more is going to become very apparent, because these fucking idiots always go over the top. Just like this, just like with Putin, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Shatner. Who the fuck's next? Cher? Come on, man. This has gotten just stupid. Oh, I just came up with this idea on my own because I wanted to prove the Bible to myself. Oh, shut the fuck up, Duffy.
Now let's fast forward to today. And now, obviously, the final experiment is underway, and we'll be going to Antarctica this December. And just a few days ago, it was probably less than that, I received a lot of emails from people. Most of them are positive. And a lot of people send me emails. They're like, hey, Will, did you know this person talked about TFE? Or did you know the final experiment was mentioned on this show? And I appreciate all those because I can't keep up with all of the mentions and everything out there. And
Oh, breaking news. Bill Clinton is going to go to Antarctica now, too.
so a couple days ago, someone hit me up and said, hey, Will, did you hear Alex Stein and Tim Pool were talking about the final experiment?
Motherfucker,
And so
you
this
already
got
knew
brought
about
up.
it.
Alex Stein reminded Tim that he's going to be paying for
This motherfucker already knew about this. This is part of the goddamn show, man. Come on.
Alex Stein to go to Antarctica. Watch this here.
Well, we have to take over the stream real quick because, you know, you said that you were going to, on the show, you said you're going to pay for me to go to Antarctica.
Yes.
They're doing a thing called the final experiment. Listen to this, Tim. You guys think I'm all crazy.
You guys off, though.
It is.
Yeah, thank you.
You know,
way to trigger.
now I'm all triggered. There's supposedly a 24-hour sun in the North Pole, but they're doing an experiment on December 18th. If there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, it proves the shape of the Earth. I know it sounds crazy, but you have to send me to Antarctica.
Yeah, we should live stream
You said that. So,
Okay.
Are you going to send me there?
Just the fact that that clown would even say that after having even thought about it for a period of time. No, it doesn't, because it doesn't throw out all the other shit. It doesn't suddenly make the earth convex. It doesn't suddenly make water adhere to the outside of an object and assume its shape. It doesn't suddenly make a gas pressure without containment possible. It doesn't do anything. What it does do, according to Occam's razor and the preponderance of evidence that it is not a globe, at the very most, if they did see something like that, it would indicate that there is some kind of an optical phenomenon that we're not fully aware of or understand. You see? So these people that are selling it as this is going to be the defining thing are retarded. Okay? Yes, cue up the circus music. Exactly. We got a clown on the screen, bro.
There?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to Antarctica to
So-
prove the
so-
shape of the Earth now.
Do the logistics.
Oh, no, I got it. No, Google it. It's called the final experiment. And it's this
It's like
pastor-
flat earthers or
Yes, flat earthers are going there with round earthers, David Keegan and this guy, Jaron Campanella, and they're going to go discover the shape of the Earth. And you're going to send me, and we're going to prove that it's not what they say it is.
So this is awesome. This is huge news. Tim Pool, at least here and in the past.
Holy shit, what a coincidence. It's almost like this was set up, but it's not, because it's just a coincidence, right? Yeah. To go along with the coincidence right before this one. Come on.
Past has agreed to pay for Alex Stein to go to Antarctica. Alex Stein wants to go to Antarctica with the final experiment. Now, as you heard in the first clip, this number was thrown out of $100,000, which didn't seem to faze Tim at all.
No, because it's not his fucking money. Okay? Because it's not his money. That's why. That money's provided. If that money was coming out of his pocket, fuck that. He wouldn't do it.
And so I have a crazy idea. Tim, if you see this video, why don't you send Alex to Antarctica with the final experiment? The cost is only $31,495. And then why don't you go yourself? That way we've got someone from each side. I think it would be fun for you to join as well. And you'll still have money left over in the rest of the 100,000. So here's what I need. I need everybody's help. If you know Tim Pool, or you know how to reach him, or you just want to.
Dude, you got all that information. You're just making media hype out of it. That's all. That's all. Come on, Duffy. We know what you're about. We know what you are. Glow, little glow worm, and give Langley my regards, Mr. Duffy.
Make him aware of this video. Please send him this video. Let him know about the final experiment. He can check out our website. He can watch our videos and kind of get caught up to speed. I actually have someone who's friends with Alex Stein that's already talking to him as well. And so if we can reach Tim Pool and get an update from Alex Stein, I think we can maybe get both of these gentlemen to join us in Antarctica this December, which would be awesome. Again, the more the merrier. This trip is a trip we're joining. It's a regularly scheduled trip to Antarctica, an annual trip through Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions. We're just tagging along to go see what the sun does, to figure out if we live on a flat earth or if we live on a globe. And so the more people that want to join, the better. I've already had one glober and one flat earther who are not.
And this motherfucker right here is going to make a lot of money. I half wonder if this guy isn't some kind of a travel agent, working as a travel agent for this fucking ALE outfit, you know? He talks like he's a QVC salesman when he talks about the shit, you know? Here, you want to impress me? Use your big fucking money to get actual permits and shit to do independent exploration. Now you're shitting in high cotton, brother. So yeah, this is not what it appears at all.
Not any of the invited participants, the 24 from each side, have reached out and had me put them in contact with ALE to sign up to go with us on the trip. So I'm thinking we can get a bunch of people signed up to go, which will make this just a way more fun event and way more historic. So again, please do me a favor, help me get
historic now. Wait a second. Now it's fucking historic. Because we haven't had people in all different areas of Antarctica for the better part of a century now, have we? Huh? So this is all of a sudden going to be historic because some pastor that just came up out of fucking nowhere from some little church in the hood connected to a sketchy ass motherfucker that just happened to say, I want to find out once and for all, because I think flat earth is ruining people from looking at the Bible. That's your words, Duffy. You said that back in fucking December, man. Come on, man. You're as full of shit as a Christmas goose, my man.
get this video and information to Tim Pool. We'll see if we can get him signed up, or at least get Alex Stein signed up to go to Antarctica to represent Team Flat Earth. And we'll have some more updates coming to you this week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
What if Team Flat Earth don't want that clown representing them, man? What then? What then? Right? So yeah, that was that one. And then this was before that.
I can't be the only.
Hang on, we're gonna see. Do we got the speed settings? Yes, we do. Oh, this guy's exhausting, man. It's like I'm gonna have to burn sage. I'm definitely gonna have to fucking burn sage. Anyway. How you doing back there, Something Wong? You okay? Is everything good? Yeah, he's smiling. He's happy. Yeah, you better not be doing weird shit with the vacuum toilet again, Something Wong. That's how something goes wrong. Because you always get that thing backed up. You little rice dick. Anyway. Ooh. Ha, there's a new look. How about we do that?
I can't be the only one that thinks this is a little weird. So I told everybody that William Shatner is going to Antarctica this December. He'll actually be there the day after the people that are involved in the final experiment leave Antarctica.
William Shatner even.
Interesting coincidence. Now, it makes sense to me that William Shatner wants to go to Antarctica because he's 93 years old. And he's checking off bucket list items.
I'm 93, goddammit. I'm shitting my pants and I want to go to Antarctica. There's one thing I want to do before I die. But Bill, you said you wanted hookers and cocaine before you died. Well, we can have that in Antarctica. I don't know. Anyway. There's deep inside the rabbit hole. What's up? Got you covered, brother. Hang on one second.
That he'd like to do before he moves on. But now Neil deGrasse Tyson. So all of a sudden, I find out last week, this popped up out of nowhere, that Neil deGrasse Tyson is also going to Antarctica this December. Watch this.
I learned recently that there's a trip, a boat, planned to go to Antarctica at the end of this year, deep in December. It's winter for we Northern Hemisphere folk, middle of the summer for anybody south of the equator. Well, there's a boat going, and I noticed it's in celebration of William Shatner. William Shatner. William Shatner. And the man is 93, 94. So I'm looking at it. I said, that'd be fun to go on that cruise. And so then I got...
Now listen, y'all. If one of y'all does go down there, at least get me Bill Shatner's autograph, man. Come on. The guy's almost dead. And I remember growing up watching this guy. He was the slickest dude picking up green chicks in the galaxy that I ever saw in my life. Oh, no. Oh, no. What do we have here? Let me go over to this. Oh my God, breaking. Where is my God bless it. Too many damn tabs. All right, hang on. We're gonna put this on hold. How you doing, Andrew? Good to see you, my friend.
Oh, you too, man. And thank you for accepting the invitation to do the trivia. It's don't be too worried. You got a teammate, really smart teammate. It's our first 2v2 that we're going to be doing. So we'll talk about that a little bit, like
All right.
what's going to happen before it. But here, I want to stay on topic here.
The yellow box. Okay.
So why does it cost so fucking much to go there? Like if you were to take a flight from Los Angeles to New York and then back and forth 15 times, it still would not cost that much.
There ain't nowhere in the world that it would cost you that much to go to. And the worst part of it is they could do one that takes them right to the pole where they stay overnight. But that one costs $85,000. Now, listen to me. You tell me one damn place. You could go to the Amazon and hire a whole bunch of people to carry all your shit to go through the Amazon. Wouldn't cost you but a fraction of that money.
Yeah, exactly. So they're definitely trying to limit people based on the price, because the average person is not going to be like, yeah, I'm going to shell out, that amount of, what is it, $33,000, whatever they said. Plus, you have to buy all the cold weather gear, and then what does the food cost down there? What is it, like $500 a meal?
Yeah, and it's at gourmet. It's what they call gourmet. Now, gourmet's when they take a big plate and they put some drizzles of bullshit on the plate, and then they give you a little tiny bite of food with a sprig of parsley or some shit on it. And they say, there you go. There's a $500 piece of meat. Oh, wow. Cool. Yes, this meat was massaged by, specially trained cow masseuses and shit. It's just a bunch of frou-frou shit. That's why
I went and did a little more of the research on my own, and I actually found Antarctic trips that are far less expensive. So why is this one so fucking expensive? And like a flight from, I live in Silicon Valley, so from like San Jose International all the way down to South America somewhere, wherever. Like I looked up the flight, and it was like $1,400 for a round trip. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. And then what is it? Another 4-hour flight, I think is what Jaron said, from wherever they're going to be landing at, and then going down there. So what are the pilots getting, like super hazard pay?
I don't know. As far as I know, they're not allowed to fly past a certain point, according to the Antarctic Treaty. That's why they couldn't do that. What was that? Polar Express or some kind of shit they were going to do a few years back, going to fly everybody across the pole. And I think there was a guy, the Greater Sapien, he crowdfunded a bunch of money and lost the money, and it got canceled because they couldn't do it because it's not allowed.
Well, he didn't lose the money. He stole it. Then he went offline.
Well, allegedly. Well, this is interesting on Duffy. This is Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole just put this. And this is from the broker check, financialrecords.org. He put the link in here. I'm going to put it in the description of the video as well for people that watch this on the restream. So this latest one, he said in this yellow box that we clicked on that they have the newest one. So this on 6/11 of 2024. So this might also be a reason for it too, because this guy's going to make some money on this shit. He's probably got to cover his fucking losses right here. So the allegations were unsuitable investments, violation of federal securities laws, fraud in offer or sale of securities, fraud in connection with the purchase or sale of securities, violations of the Colorado Securities Act, violation of the California Securities Act, California unfair, unlawful, and fraudulent businesses practices, misrepresentations and omissions of material fact, breach of contract, common law fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, negligence, and gross negligence, and putting ketchup on a steak. I mean, good God, $360,000. That's the damage amount requested on that.
Wow.
And here on the 6th of June, D-Day, a day that will go down as very memorable as the President of the United States crapped his pants at the memorial. What a place we live in, right? So on this one,
I think he crapped his pants during the debate.
What's that?
I think he crapped his pants during the. I only watched 10 minutes of it, but I think he crapped his pants in that 10 minutes and fell asleep 5 times.
Dude, anybody that's ever had a toddler can just watch that guy. You can tell when he's dumping his drawers, man. He takes that same stance as a toddler does. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You that have had kids, you know exactly. It's that little, they do. Yeah, he's just sitting there and he don't care because Joe, wouldn't you hate to be the Secret Service guy that has to throw old Joe up on the changing table? Ah.
I wouldn't shake his hand I don't want to come within 100 miles of him.
Listen, I live already about an hour and a half south of Washington, D.C., and that's not far enough from it. I'm telling you, man, if I ever see a large glow in the sky happen over in the Northeast, I'll know what happened. That'll be cool.
So this one is violations of federal securities laws, violations of the Colorado securities. So it's another just basically allegations, 135,000.
Right.
Wow.
And that's so that what are we up to? 795,000.
Running tab on this. Hold on.
Huh?
So 368,000. That one was plus how much? 135.
135.
All right.
And then we got on 4/19, which is April 19th. Breach of written contract, breach of fiduciary duty, failure to supervise, negligence and gross negligence, misrepresentation and omissions, violation of FINRA rules, violation of federal securities laws, violation of California and Colorado Securities Acts, violation of Investment Advisors Act of 1940, violation of Regulation B. And I don't know. This is pending.
Well, that one's pending, right? The other ones are.
Yeah, these last 3 are pending.
But there's no value on that one, though. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Then the 2 settled ones. Let's see what those are.
So this one was settled on September 16th of 2022 for court, 225,000, damn near $250,000. Negligence, professional negligence, violations of law, unsuitable recommendations, breach of contract, breach of fiduciary duty, breach of security laws and regulations. So here's one from September 9th of 2021. Unsuitable investment. So that one was 225. This one's at damage amount requested was $218,926. He got $10,100. So there's $235,000 that has gone out already, with the potential of 495,000. So almost $500,000 yet to go. Now, just given that and those amounts of things on there like that, I would be reluctant to sign a Girl Scout cookie order form from this guy. Okay? I'm serious. Now, is he still practicing in this field? Is he still? That's what I wonder. Is he still practicing in this field? And how
these are the lawsuits that were brought against Will Duffy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So just the ones I added up, I forgot to add a couple, but it's basically it's close to $1 million what he's been sued for or pending lawsuits.
Yeah, already what's gone out. So it's damn near $500,000 possible. Okay, because we got 135,000 and 360,000. That's 495,000. Okay, that's being requested. This one here from 419 doesn't have any kind of monetary amount. So we got this 135 to 360. So that's almost $500,000 it's coming up on. And then what's already been settled is, let's see, 225,000, 235,000 has been settled already, with a potential on that other amount.
Wait,
And
where's
I'm
the
just
Duffy
saying,
live?
I mean, is this common? Is this common amongst people in that field to have this many allegations and being sued this many times? And I mean, it certainly doesn't fit the persona that we're being presented with of this humble pastor who's just a nice guy and everything. I mean, it looked like a used car salesman smile to me the first time he used it. I don't know how it hit you, but
Well, I think when you get a stockbroker's license, you have to or like a Wall Street trading thing. There's it's called the Series 7 exam that you have to pass. It's sort of like passing the bar exam or something like that. And yeah, you can definitely lose your license if you're getting sued like that. So I don't know how exactly is he making money so much to the point where people are suing him like that, and he's not basically being restricted from never being allowed to give someone financial advice again.
Yeah, that's what I want, because even like a mortgage broker. Yeah, it does. Dave, oh my God, Dave, you right there, brother. It is not common. Seems to me that he's an organized scam. He is playing to get out of his trouble. And I've thought that about all these guys. They're all at least connected somewhere. I mean, first off, when I smelled a rat right off the bat, as soon as I found out MC Toon was involved. And then I'm trying to look at this connection between MC Toon and this humble pastor from a small church in bumfucked Colorado, right? I'm like, okay, wait a second here. What in the hell would Toon have to offer to a Christian congregation in his own neighborhood, much less one way over in Colorado? A small one at that. I think the church is just a front for some bullshit, man. I mean, we've had people go there. We've had people in the area go there when they're supposed to be having services, and it's been closed for renovations.
Well, I've heard people that actually went to his church, and they said it was like Christians that went there just to investigate where I think he's in Texas, though, isn't he? Not
No,
Colorado?
he's in Colorado.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard some people online talking that they actually went to his church, and they said it was very suspicious, and they got this, your spidey senses start going off real fast.
Like it's not what it appears to be.
Yeah, it's like going into like a Masonic temple or something.
Yeah. Well, and there again, here's this. We got to look at this too. Where's ALE headquartered out of? Salt Lake City, Utah.
What?
Yeah, man.
Oh, crap. Oh, you know what? I think I said who went there, I think. I might be wrong. I think Witsit may have said he went there.
What, to the ALE headquarters?
Something like, yeah, someone that I would trust to tell the truth definitely said that they went there and they checked it out. I might be off on whether it was Witsit or not.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Someone in chat help me out. I'm not looking at chat right now.
There's just a lot of really weird shit around this. I mean, come on. Even this thing here that we're looking at, this Neil deGrasse Tyson. Did you see the night that Brenda got really upset at me because I called him HNIC NDT? And she goes, "That's racist." And I goes, "Why?" And she goes, HNIC. I goes, head nerd in charge. What's racist about that?
That dumb motherfucker. I swear he doesn't. I will never call Brenda a she, a woman, because he has a prostate. I don't care if you cut your dick off, but still, XY chromosomes kind of situation,
Dude, that's another one. That's right. Bob the Science Guy had a suit against him for prescribing drugs for BJs. I didn't know there was drugs for roofies. And it vanished just when he came on to anti-flat earth scene. Dude, I've said that. I've said that these guys are got to be somebody holding something over them to make them do this shit, because there is no way in hell that anybody could sit there and do this many debates with people like David Weiss, Witsit, myself, Flatzoid, All of these people that have brought these things to the table and show you, no, dude, your stuff is impossible. There is no way you could do that many times and still cling onto your stupid belief system. Not one single way. And I get a creep vibe from every one of those guys, man. Every one of those guys. Tune gives me the fucking willies. I burned sage in front of my computer after he was on my show, man.
Yeah, I don't trust him at all. I don't even think he's Christian, even though he says he is.
He ain't no more a Christian than my dog is a Girl Scout.
Yeah, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
So's Duffy.
Like a fucking snake in the grass.
That's exactly what Duffy is. That's exactly what Duffy is, man. And that's why I have to point to that. That Mandela effect is so important to me. That Isaiah 11:6, where it says, where it used to say the lion shall lie with the lamb, now says the wolf will dwell with the lamb. And that's exactly what they're doing. Because if I was a pastor of a Christian congregation and I saw the prophecies of Daniel and Amos coming true before my eyes in my very toolbox, the Bible, I would be proclaiming it from the rooftops. Y'all better get your shit together. Look, this is happening. But they're not. They all deny it. Oh, it's just a psyop, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. I know better. I know better. And all the timing of it too, man. Okay, we'll let limited gatherings for church. Now the scripture says, where 2 or 3 gather in my name, right? Used to say where 2 or more gather in my name. Now it's 2 or 3, but no more than 3 limited gatherings. This is off the chain, man. And now I'm watching these guys, the scramble, the mad scramble by the Globers, man. Because flat earth has gotten so much traction. I predicted this last year. I said we are going to see a tipping point in flat earth in 2024. And we're seeing it. And they are so damn worried about it that they've gone into overtime damage control. This is why you've seen a record number of SpaceX launches. This is why you've seen a lot of Elon Musk and a lot of Starlink and all this other shit's trying to reify this globe in your mind. They have to reinforce it. They have to try and reinforce it. But the thing is, it's not working. And they don't know what to do. And so they come up with this final psyop. And as you see, as time goes on, it gets worse and worse and worse. Why? Because they just can't control themselves. They have to go overboard with every fucking thing they do.
Well, that's how the saying goes, right? And this is a little bit related, but if you're going to tell a lie, make it a big lie so people can't disbelieve it. I think I might have butchered that a little bit, but yeah, you don't want to tell like tiny little lies. You have to tell otherwise, it has to be real because of how big it is.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. That's what I always say. I say, so are you telling me that you can't prove that because it's too big? And they go, yeah. And I said, well, that's what she said.
I knew that was coming. But hey, man, I gotta get going. So hey, someone else hop in. I gotta go down.
Yeah. Anybody free to come on up?
I'm gonna be backstage listening, or in the chat though.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for
having me on, and brush up on your Bible stuff because I got a lot of Bible questions coming up.
From which version?
Just the Bible.
Wait a minute. We got a King James version. We got an NIV. We got,
I was getting a lot of help from people that are, hardcore Christians, and they were sending me trivia questions, and I was looking up information on my own.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure which version. NIV probably is.
That's Catholic.
Well, I don't know.
And most Protestants, in fact, most Protestants go with the King James version or sometimes a modern day translation of the King James, but that's shaky water you're getting into there because of the fact of how the Bible was written. The words matter. The words as written matter, if not just for their phonetic power.
All right. I can't really speak on that very much because I've only read like 3/4 of the Bible, and that was a long time ago. So.
Well, this is a big mistake people make about the Bible. They think it's a book. It's not. Just because it starts at the beginning with Genesis does not necessarily mean it's a book. It's a collection of books written by different people at drastically different times in different languages and in different lands. And they were selected by a council in Rome under the guidance of a Roman dictator, who finally gave the approval for whatever this council had decided to pick over thousands of manuscripts and decided to put into this collection of books or Bible. Pretty weird, huh?
Yeah, yeah. But we'll get into that more. I got to get back into class.
Right on, brother. Have a good night.
Yep.
And we'll see
Thanks
you
for
in the
having me
chat.
on. I'll see you next Wednesday, and we'll do a little bit of a pre-show before we start.
Right on. Sounds like a winner, man.
Cool. Have a night.
All right. Good night, man. Well, all right. So that was a good guest down there. And we'll finish watching this thing about Neil deGrasse Tyson. And, you know, I mean, that was a good freeze frame place right there. That is a really good freeze frame place, because I feel like I should be ordering a hamburger and small fries out into his mouth, you know, like Jack in the Box or some shit. What a clown.
Got invited. Never been to Antarctica before.
Notice he's kind of surprised how this kind of seems to have come out of nowhere
Yeah, that is kind of odd, isn't it?
for him. What does this mean?
Yes, what does
Now,
it mean, Duffy?
I know there's going to be crazy conspiracies trying to say that somehow I'm involved with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and people can come up with whatever ideas they want. I've never met the man.
You don't have to meet the other agents as long as you have the controller. Dude, just stop. Just stop. None of us are buying your fucking nonsense. The best thing you could actually do at this point in time is just come clean, because there's nobody can believe in you, brother. Nobody. Not this a mama's baby boy ain't to believe in you. No, 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 no. You got some shady shit in your closet. Your skeletons are glowing.
So I don't know, but why Neil deGrasse Tyson? William Shatner makes sense. I mean, granted, he's everybody's favorite astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's a joke. I know how much flat earthers do not like Neil deGrasse Tyson and the beef that's gone on over the years.
That's not true. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is a clown. He cracks me up. And I can never watch him without seeing him in that McDonald's commercial in the 80s. He was loving it. He was loving it.
But this might surprise you. I think it's assumed that Globers just reject all conspiracy theories. Well, I don't.
I'm one of you. Believe me, I've trained to act like one of you. Get the fuck out of here. Glow, little glow worm, glow.
It can be a bit conspiratorial. So I'm going to tell you a thought that I'm having. All right.
I bet you this motherfucker got every booster they offer. What's happening, Dave? Good to have you on, brother.
Hey, man, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
So I want to throw in my 2 cents here. So Will had these charges against him from a couple years ago, paid $135,000. Now he's got 2 new charges totaling about $500,000 with possible jail time, right? He's saying he could pay for 2 tickets to Antarctica, but 3 might be a stretch, right? Because his wife is like, oh, I really don't want you to spend that extra $40,000. But meanwhile, he's got $500,000 in charges coming against him, and there's probably more charges to come after this from other plaintiffs, right? And so as all of this is going on, he pops up onto the scene with the final experiment. I mean, the psyop behind the name and everything. He's putting all of his time and energy in this. This makes 0 sense whatsoever. This is insanity, impossible. And I'm going to give you a prediction of what I think what's going to happen if this thing ever pulls off. So that alone right there tells you that something's up. Now, lots of times with major crises, major events, they have crisis actors that are in trouble with the law, that are forced to participate. Bob the Science Guy was about to go to jail or lose his license, pay huge fines for prescribing, barbiturates for women in trade for, allegedly in trade for sex. And that charge just disappeared. And all of a sudden, he's full-time on the scene, anti-flat Earth, right? So that could be what's going on here. So if flat earthers go down there, like Jaron and Austin are thinking of going, and they believe, well, first, we all know there's no sun that circles behind us.
No.
We all know it. So what could they be up to? Now, we all know on the flat earth that there is a what we call the coffee cup caustic, which gives light during the day there. But most normies have no idea what that even means, even if you tried to explain it to them, right? The other thing is, if the sun, and then Will's expecting there to be blue skies the whole time. There's never blue skies all the time, and especially along the horizon, because you're looking across all of the atmosphere, and so it's always, always, always hazy down on the horizon. So when the sun is going away and it's getting where it should be setting, it's going to go behind a haze. Now, you can see the sun behind haze, but when it goes, I think it's pretty easy for them to, and I don't want to use the word sun simulator because it's not the sun simulator that everyone sees. I think it could just be a projection from above, from below, and all they have to do is put a really bright spot behind those clouds. Now, we'll say, nope, that you can't prove that's the sun, and they'll be like, well, it was light and it did travel, and and it did come back, and then when it and when it, when at 7 a.m. we could see the whole disk of the sun again. So the entire time where the sun shouldn't be above, it's just going to be that light. So we'll walk away and say, nope, absolutely not. That's weird. And then they'll run mainstream worldwide to say flat earthers prove the globe and don't like the result, even though they filmed it themselves. Right? Then after they leave, Neil deGrasse Tyson, William Shatner, the guy who pretended to go up into space just recently,
Yeah.
and Bill Nye, they're going to go and claim that they saw the sun also, right? Just to double reinforce it or triple reinforce it, and so that'll be 1, 2, 3, and whether we scream bullshit, 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 they don't have any proof. The mainstream, it doesn't matter because the mainstream will run with the article and our voice will be silenced. We'll only be screaming to ourselves.
Well, Dave, I see this as part of a pattern that I've noticed. I don't know if you're here before, but a lot of my audience knows that even the last year, I was predicting a flat earth tipping point happening this year. And I think we're coming to that. I think we are. And what I've noticed pattern wise is what it seems to be a desperate glober apologetics campaign going on, trying to really reinforce it. I mean, let's face it, we've seen a record number of launches go down this year already, and it's only just July. Starlink, always in the news. They're putting up all this stuff about female spacewalks and everything else like that, really trying to reify the thing into people's minds. And it doesn't seem to be working.
No,
and the worse that it doesn't work, the more desperate their attempts become. I don't know if you were here when I showed that Facebook group that's called "Please Help Stop the Insane Flat Earth."
Yeah, they're doing all sorts of stuff. They're really stepping it up. I want to say another thing also. We know that the sun does not circle behind us. Jaron and Austin know it 100%. Now, I don't want to speak for Jaron, but I think that a lot of people misinterpreted what he said, or he might have even said it in a way because he's just so confident it won't happen. If he sees a sun circle behind him, that doesn't make the Earth a globe. It makes us go, what the hell are we seeing? How can we explain that? Because the curvature is still, the flights are still wrong. There's no curvature. There, all of that other stuff. It says there's a problem. He doesn't switch back to the ball. He says something's weird with our model. It's still flat, but we don't understand what's going on in the sky. And so people that are saying that him and Austin our shills plants, you know, maybe RV saying, I don't know who's saying it, are absolutely have lost their minds. Absolutely lost their minds. You know, RV's out there now saying that I am a shill and you know everything. I mean, he's been saying that for a while. Absolute insanity. It's just insanity. So people need to just fucking chill out and you know, do a little research, do a little, you know, just figure out. I mean, if they want to prove that the Earth is a globe, you don't go to Antarctica and freeze your ass off for 5 days. You take a flight from Santiago to Australia along the coast of Antarctica, right? Just follow the coast and then
With your
hop
own
across.
compass,
Well,
like Max Egan did,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. But even just you get a whole bunch of people, you get Neil deGrasse Tyson and William Shatner and everyone else, and everyone's on a plane. You fly from Santiago to Antarctica, maybe even land in Antarctica to prove that you're there, and then just follow the coast around for 6, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is, and then pop off the coast and end up in Australia. You can't do it. That's impossible. That's the final experiment right there, and it's only one day, and you don't freeze your ass off.
Well, I'm kind of the idea that we are the final experiment. This is just an observation. Let's face it, it's an observation. It's not an experiment. There's no independent variable. There's no dependent variable. You're making an observation. It's just an observation.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, like you were saying, seeing some phenomenon in the sky, okay, is not going to automatically shit can all of the rest of the fact that there's no convexity. You cannot have a volume of gas without containment. All the hosts of other things that go along with it. You can't just, oh, well, we saw a sun behind us, or at least we thought we did, so we just got to shit can all the rest of that.
But here's the thing, seeing a bright light, an undefined bright light where you can't see the sunspots, you can't see the sharp edge, you know, behind the clouds, to us, that is not proof. But to the mainstream, they'll be like, that's proof. They'll run with that story and they'll shout it big, just like everyone thinks that Mad Mike was trying to prove the flat Earth by jumping 1,800 feet in the air. That's how stupid the public is, and the mainstream runs with it. I still get people like Mad Mike tried to kill himself, killed himself trying to prove the flat Earth. I'm like, how stupid are you? So that's my prediction that there will be a low-lying, hazy. Hey, it's hazy because it's low. You're looking through all the atmosphere. Of course, it's hazy. We even say that in our videos. Things get hazy when they get near the horizon. So that's what's going to happen, and they'll run with that.
What they're relying on is two fundamental programmings that we have. Okay, and it's instilled into us in a very young age. That's why there's this unwarranted trust in academia. Okay, because that was instilled into you as you were in academia. But we suffer from a perception deception. I try to free people's minds from that. We undergo a perception deception. For instance, like this guy. Oh, he's a pastor, a benevolent pastor, a Christian, right? So that gives us already an image in our head. It's not necessarily true, but it's part of the image that they're trying to portray. Just like they can take a guy, give him a script, put a tie on him, and place him in front of some books and a globe and tell you he's a total expert in whatever he's talking about. And you won't question it. Just like the fake doctor on the news. So you have to get by this perception deception that we have. And people, oh, well, I saw it on CNN. It was on mainstream news. I saw it on television. And they believe that because of the perception they've been given about what they're actually seeing. And until they wake up and decide, no. You don't tell me what's real. I decide what's real.
Yeah, you should book Will on your show again on the 25th of July because he can't make it because he has an in-court appearance at 1:30 p.m. that day.
Well, the first time I had him on, it was pretty much he had to give me the date that he could appear. So
yeah.
It wasn't like I could go, hey, would you appear on there? But yeah, that's interesting. He'll be going on to court again. And that's what's suspicious too. I'd almost slipped my mind is shouldn't you be spending more time preparing for your case?
no kidding. I mean, preparing for his case and him, saying he can only afford 2 tickets, not 3. He wasn't planning on that, but he's got $1 million in fines coming. And there's when this happens, there's most likely a row of people coming behind him. The SEC is after him. That comes with jail time, right? Anybody in Colorado in Douglas County, he'll be in courtroom D on the 1:30 on 7/25. Be cool to get some flat earthers there to see what happens.
Barbara lives in Colorado, and Greg Brayton here in the chat lives in Colorado.
Yep.
And another guy that watches all the time, Roger, if you're watching, if you're listening, hear what Dave says about this court date. You got to see if you maybe get the time. Maybe y'all can make a day of it and have lunch and stuff. That would be kind of interesting. Yeah. So anybody of you that are in California, Colorado, near that area that wants to go ahead and check that out, yeah, definitely go on. What is that, 25th?
The 25th. He said, he did very well with investing. So is this his money or is this money he stole from people?
Yeah.
I don't know. And you said, is this common? I have friends that are in the securities business that have thousands of customers, and they have 0 complaints like this. 0. Will's got 5 in the last couple of years, 2 in June, at 1 in April when he popped up on the scene, and now it's. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Well, I have to entertain all possibilities, especially as crazy as everything gets more and more every day. I have to keep myself reminded that, absolutely nothing is off the table. And I was thinking about just the associations that this guy has with some pretty bad actors, in my opinion. And I would say up to and including, this goes up as high, I believe, as the intelligence community, or at least some shadow group within it. And one of the things that gets me, because we all know about MK Ultra, of course we do, because that's old hat. Do you realize how they have actually perfected that? And I was thinking to myself, what's to stop them from just, during quiet time in the tent is just black bagging those guys, making them believe that they saw something they didn't, or something else like that, just to like do a Kanye on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the realm, but it would be difficult, I think. But I just think that with all of these charges, and look at this guy. He calls himself a Christian, and his discernment is McToon is his friend.
Oh my
Any
God, I know.
pastor that can't see what an evil demon that guy is has 0 discernment. As I said from the day I got his first email, actually his second email, I said, I want nothing to do with you. So all of his little trolls that come out, why did you turn down a free trip to Antarctica? Because I'm not going there to help you perpetuate your nonsense results. Because no matter what happens, they're going to claim victory and say that flat earthers don't like the result. Hey, it was light. They'll just have to say it was light and it was a bright spot right where the sun should be. And the flat earthers don't like it because there was a couple clouds in front of the sun.
Yeah.
Right? You don't think they can put a bright light in the sky? Now the sun simulator, the big thing with all the lights, I don't think they're hanging a physical sun simulator in the sky. Could be wrong. It could be. Maybe they are. But they're close to the dome out there. Maybe they can project something off the dome. Who knows? Or maybe it's just a projection excuse me, into the sky. Easily done. Project Bluebeam, they're putting buildings in the sky. You don't think they could put a bright, fuzzy light on clouds?
Right.
Are you freaking kidding me?
The stuff they can do with this 7D holographic technology. And what I saw, that was at least 10 years old, and it was amazing. You got whales flying up out of a gymnasium floor, dragons going around flying and stuff,
Right.
So we know that the capabilities have increased, and by the time the public gets a toy, it's old hat. They've got something way better than that already.
And we know we know that the globe is a psyop and they're hiding the flat earth. And we know how important this lie is. And we know that they're not going to let us just go there and see the sunset clearly. We know, like I was just out on the water today, and they fucked the entire sky with chemtrails. The entire sky, not just the horizon. The entire sky was fucking covered with chem clouds. So to think that they couldn't project something and block the sun and block the transition from the real sun to a projection is just stupid. It's just stupid to think that they can't do that. I think they can do that anytime they want with an hour's notice. Okay?
Sure, easy. Send
Yeah.
an AWACS plane up. You'd
Yeah.
never see it.
Right.
Yeah, there's a multitude of stuff. And like I said, Occam's razor would dictate that if you did see an anomaly like that, and yes, I'm going to call it an anomaly, because we've had people in Antarctica for the better part of a century, and the best that they've come out is these edited and clipped videos of a 24-hour sun that are obviously fraudulent. So according to Occam's razor, given all the preponderance of evidence of it not being a globe, the only conclusion you could derive from that observation would be that there is some kind of an optical effect that we are not fully understanding. Let's find out more.
Right. I mean, just think of the mainstream when all they need is to say it was light. There was a bright spot in the sky right where the sun should have been, and the flat earthers didn't like it. Right. And that alone will just, anybody that doesn't understand what a big psyop this is lost.
Mm-hmm. Well, you appeared on my show a while back, and I have to still once again apologize for that fruitcake guest of mine. He's normally not like that, but I just happened to be out at his house here a couple of weeks ago, and of course he had heard about this final experiment, so he brought it up.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, he's getting defensive. And anyway, it migrated over to the idea of maps. Okay. And he goes, "You don't even have a map." I said, "You don't have an accurate map either."
Right.
And he says, "Well, what do you mean?" And he says, "What about the globe?" And so he picks up a little globe off of his desk, and he picks it up and to show me Antarctica. And after he gets done showing me what he wanted to show me, I says, "Hey, what's that say on that little sticker inside there?"
Yeah, it's not right. Nice. Hey, I want to throw a link in the chat. McToon was on, I forget which show he was on, and it was with Kingdom of Context, Sean, and he said, "Where's the video of the Antarctic sun?" And he showed that video of the sun. So look in the chat. Take that. Can you pull that link up that I just put in?
Yeah. There, I got it. Ooh.
Okay, put it up and just jump to the middle. And listen, I suck at photo manipulation.
I do too.
And so pull that up if you can.
Oh.
How come I'm not seeing it? Yeah.
This is your video. Okay.
This is my video. And I filmed 3 suns in Antarctica. Just jump to the middle. Jump to the middle of the video. Just
like right about there?
No. I can't see. Just anywhere. Just jump to the middle.
Yeah, I see 3
There you go. Stop. There you go. Let it go.
I see 3 suns on the right hand side. You couldn't see my little preview bar. That's what it was.
No. I'm looking at the stream, so I'm a little behind. But look, I did that. Right? That's as good as theirs.
How'd you do that?
It's so stupid. I just put it in a movie editor. I dropped 2 other suns in there that I found online. I said sun PNG, dropped it in there, sized them up, and the video's already spinning around.
You're on Tatooine all of a sudden. That's
yeah. Look, but that's as good as proof as his 1 sun spinning. I got 3 suns spinning.
Do they move? Oh yeah.
It's just,
I think was it Banjo or was it Flatworks? Have you watched Flatworks' work?
I'm sure I have.
He's done some really good stuff on Antarctica the last few months. He's got really a lot of information there. And he was showing how this one was fake, that you had the same flash at the same point.
The flashes there. All of these have been proven fake. Fake. But
that's insane.
But me, with my crappy editing skills, was able to add 2 more suns to this video. All right. And this is McToon's proof. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think my sons look better than their son, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even think that they will see a sun that bright along the that clear. I don't think that they will see a light that clear.
no,
But
I don't
but
either.
yeah, but here's the thing. Even if they saw a crisp light, we know that we're being fooled. We know that we're being fooled. You know? But no matter what happens, if with flat earthers being down there, they're going to run with the story. Flat earthers prove the globe and don't like what they saw.
Yeah, it's behind the curve 2.0. I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
it is.
And I think that this whole trip with Scott Kelly, whatever the other guys going down there,
Yeah.
I think that's going to be just to reaffirm they saw the sun too. Neil deGrasse Tyson saw the sun, and William Shatner. Why would he lie? Why would William Shatner lie? He went to space, you know.
Dude, William Shatner's like what, 100? He's like getting up there really old right now. I know you're at least close enough to my age, but I remember the Apollo 11 mission. I was a little kid. And boy, I was fascinated by it. And every day when they would give updates about the astronauts and stuff,
Yeah.
And then on the day of the launch, I remember I was glued. And they were telling us Commander Armstrong and Commander Aldrin have gone through their physical. The blood pressure of the commander was such and such. I mean, it was rigorous. In fact, they started the Presidential Physical Fitness Award because we were the generation that was going to go to space, and we had to be physically fit for the rigors of outer space travel. That's how they sold that crap to us, right? And so it was real detailed, how many grams of eggs and how much Tang they drank and everything like that, right? And then here's William Shatner, most likely got a load in his drawers, damn near 100 years old. They just pop him in a thing and send him up into freaking space. Come on.
I know, and then when you watch that thing come down, it slammed on the ground so hard. There's no way he would have survived.
No way that would have. Yeah. I know. I think big cloud of dust, boom, and then they'd open next scene. The cloud of dust is gone. Door,
and then they claim that the air thruster at the last second stops it from hitting the ground hard.
Well, this is what I'm saying. People don't realize he's not really Captain Kirk. Okay, he's an actor, and not a very good one.
Right.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is an actor. Okay. He was in a McDonald's commercial back in the 80s. He was a loving it, boy. These guys are all like, there's something not right about any of them. And I'm with you, Dave, on this, these flat earth haters that are out there, man. It's like they've done something and they're forced to do this kind of thing. Because, man, I got to tell you, I get like a creep vibe off of just about every one of them. And there's always some kind of a weird fluke about each and every one of them, whether it's T-Jump with his skater boy haircut. Why are you wearing a skater boy haircut? You're like in your 40s with black fingernail polish. Come on, man. Right? And people dressing up like women and all this other craziness. And it's sort of like, is there anybody out there that's not screwed up in the head somewhere?
Yeah.
And it seems to go along with that. And I don't know, man. It just freaks me out.
The just getting back to the charges against Duffy, it makes no sense that he's putting all of his efforts into this thing out of nowhere. There is no explanation for that. No explanation. It makes no sense.
No, I mean, this is some serious shit, man. You better either be preparing your case or preparing a new identity in Bolivia or some kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This right here looks like it comes with pound me in the butt prison too. It
very, very well could.
And yeah, so that would be leverage, I would say, because whose interest is it really? I mean, he came out and said, I can't find a motive of why they would lie about what the earth is. And then said in just a few breaths later that if I go down there and discover that the earth is flat, I'm going to have to reinterpret my idea of scripture. What
There's
was
a reason.
saying about a motive there, Padre? Huh?
He's a liar. He's
Yeah,
just
man.
lying. So yeah. It's sad that I don't even know how many flat earthers are thinking that this. I don't even think there are any at this point that think that this is a good idea. It's just that their trolls out there will be like, why are you taking your free trip? Because it's stupid. That's why it doesn't prove anything. And by us going, I don't see a positive outcome. But they're trying to put us between a rock and a hard place, because if we back out, they're like, oh, flat earthers, we're afraid, and we're going to go down and film it ourselves, But if we film it and there's light in the sky, the mainstream won't understand how that could be possible on a circling flat Earth sun. They won't, and that's the story they'll run with.
That's it. They do not want this getting out, man. And I have a host of ideas why, and of course it's speculative at best, but with good hard evidence behind it. Like we were saying before about like with maps, there's no accurate maps. And this is because we have a hodgepodge of measured statute miles mixed in with calculated distances of vast ocean. No land reference. You get into the South Pacific, man, that's some difficult stuff. I did a deep dive into the how they established longitudinal lines and everything, and it almost looks like they said, screw it, we'll just say it's the same as it is above this line. It's a ball. Meridian corrections built into the GPS. And I see that it's just sitting here looking at the Gleason's map, which is not, of course, a distance map or a navigational tool as much as it is a timepiece, really. And I'm looking at this vast area of the South Pacific, and I'm like, they could so easily hide an entire continent right there.
Yeah.
Right there. They've got complete control over where people go. People that think they're free to go any place they want to, yeah, you just go ahead and try that. You got to have a special permission slip and a thing called a passport, and it's got to agree with the State Department, with the place. People think this, you just can go anywhere. You can't. And the routes that you take are tightly controlled. So I see it altogether possible they could do that. But even looking at the Urbano Monte map from 1587, and knowing that cartographers are out there, they're funded by very rich and powerful people that are commissioning these maps for trade, warfare, and other such things. And if you draw things on a map that aren't there, they go and check, and something happens, it's not there, or they wreck because you lied. Well, your head's going to go on a stick, and the money you were given is going to be taken back. So I'm looking at this map and I'm seeing details around Antarctica that's like, wait a minute, man. There's some detailed coastline on this back side of this little piece of landmass. And I'm seeing flora and fauna. I mean, I know if I was a king and I was, hey, let's go down there and see what kind of animals we can find and shit. I send an armada based on your map, and I get there and I smash into an iceberg. I'm not going to be happy. Not at all. So I got to look at it like, has something happened that has changed? Is the Antarctic Treaty our idea, or is it coming from Antarctica? Is it like, y'all keep your crazy asses inside there? Don't come here. If we catch you coming here, we're going to wreak havoc on you. So just stay there and have your own little craziness. I don't know, man. But
yeah.
What is that? I'm hearing dinging all over the place.
I'm getting text bombed right now.
Yeah, I get them. I get them too. Like I've got like 2 or 3 of them just came in too. Angela Baby Carson, I see your little message. I see it. It came up. I haven't looked at it though. But yeah, you look at these now. This is just under the yellow box, Dave. And there's more to this, isn't there? So those are disclosures.
Yep.
3 firms. What's this? 6 years of experience, 3 firms. Is this all the firms that he had?
He had other firms, and It's weird. It's weird. He's working for he now he says he has like people working for him, but he's not listed on the company site that he says he works for. I haven't looked into that myself, so I can't really comment. I'm just looking into these charges, and I don't really need to look much farther. This has psyop written all over it. I think that my guess. He could be doing it just because he's an evil satanic fuck, or he could be doing it to prevent stop from going to jail. Now it's weird though, because if this was a deal, like, hey, you do this whole thing, this final experiment, and we'll make your charges go away, I would think that they would coordinate these other charges coming out of the during it at the same time, that they would like halt them. So that's weird. I don't fully understand that. So not looking into conspiracy, not looking into why he did it. Just look at the charges, look at his situation, where did he come from, and at the time in his life where he should be devoting all of his money and time to his lawyers. Instead, he's coming up with the final experiment. I'm calling bullshit.
Oh, welcome, Moon Bounce up here.
Yeah.
Good to see you, my friend.
All right, I'm gonna pop. I'm gonna jump.
Okay, what I was going to say though is the thing is you look at this, and I think one of the biggest things that I'm really still at a mystery of is the connection between him and Toon. That is just so bizarre to me. Even at a happenstance meeting at the debate that they had in Nashville, which I thought was interesting that the roof collapsed like a week later. But anyway,
that's crazy.
I wonder. So, but the happenstance meeting there with this guy Toon, right? And then I don't know how. Okay, Toon claims to be a Christian, but I would say his behavior would kind of contradict that, especially in the way that he acts towards other people. And I have to wonder, like I said, I can't understand what Toon would have to offer any congregation, even in his own neighborhood, much less
You should
travel
get
to Colorado and go to see.
Joe from Effed Up World went there to debate Toon, right? And then he was there when Toon did a sermon, and he said it was the most satanic, I think the word he used, or weird, crazy sermon ever. And it was filmed. And Will says he puts all of his sermons online. All of the sermons are filmed and are online, except that one. That one's not online. Maybe ask Will why he isn't airing the sermon that Toon did. Maybe ask Joe about it. It's pretty crazy, And this guy is loaded, but when he went to pay for Joe's hotel, his credit card bounced. Yeah. I think he's on the edge of financial destruction, and he is doing this to avoid losing his entire life.
Very well could be. I've been inclined to be thinking that long before Duffy came in with some of these other characters that are in there. And it seems though, and one of the biggest telling things that it is it's not just a globe Earth. You find that these other people espouse views where they're just like all in. The jab is good. The Holocaust was real. All of that bullshit. They just buy into like the entire standard system line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Hey, I know what you mean there, Sav. It's almost like Jesus is God.
I'm jumping, guys. I'll catch you.
All right, Dave. Well, thanks for coming up, ladies and gentlemen. That was Dave Weiss. The link to his app should be on my channel as well. He has the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, Zodiac Clock app. Oh, I said it correctly. Woo! Anyway, it's really cool. I've used it, several demonstrations of it. In fact, I had a card with the little QR code on it and everything. And I was up at the Chinese food restaurant, and it's really crazy. It's the only, I live in a really small town. So anyways, the Chinese people up there, the lady, she says, oh, we have new menu and here, new card. And she handed me her card, and I just happened to have that card in my pocket. And I goes, oh, okay, here's a card for you too. She goes, what is this? And I showed her the app, and she goes, "Oh man, that is really cool." She goes, "What is that?" I said, "That's where you live, man. This is how everything works." And she goes, "That is really cool. I am going to put that on my phone." And I was like, "Awesome." So it's pretty cool now. So like if I go down there to the Chinese restaurant, I can talk to them a little bit about that stuff. So that's really cool. Roseanne Barr Show airs the 4th of July, 7 p.m. Pacific time, which is going to make that 10 p.m. Eastern. What's the particular, is it on her YouTube channel? I would imagine that it probably is. I would imagine you're probably going to restream it too, or something, I would imagine too, Dave, right? Give us the deets, man. Give us the deets. So yeah, very, very interesting about Duffy there in those charges. Like I said, I would be reluctant to sign a Girl Scout cookie order form from this guy based on that information myself. But like I said, when I had him on the show, I was watching him. I didn't want to have to really grill him or anything, but I was just watching his mannerisms, paying real close attention to his eyes and all of his expressions. And that really gave me a lot of information to digest by that analyzation I just did myself. And later on, we find some more really kind of dark connections going on. And with what he just said about Toon's sermon sounding almost satanic, really, I mean, wow, it fits in completely with, you know, some of the allegations that we've seen. Anyway, I just can't see how. I hope people can see this for what it is. I really do. I hope they can see it for what it is. It is not what it appears to be. What's Matt R says, let's talk about flag worshiping and status for the 4th of July. Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing. We found out that even though we signed the Declaration on the July the 4th, 1776, we didn't. We're told that these elite people that locked themselves in a room and did that. And they did that on July the 4th, 1776. However, we found out that the Corporation of the United States was actually registered in London on July the 3rd of 1776. So that's kind of funny, hey? Wow. Yeah. But, you know, the thing is, it is a propaganda thing. It really is. When they call the United States the Great Experiment, it truly is that. Nothing is as effective as a slave that thinks they are free. It's the Jones Plantation. Okay. It is absolutely the Jones Plantation. If you don't know what the Jones Plantation is, you should look it up. Well, you know what? Let's freaking watch it. Why don't we? We're only an hour and a half into this. Let me see if I can find it. We'll just kind of shift gears on this. But yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Let's finish watching the thing about Neil deGrasse Tyson real quick, and then I'll pull that up while we're watching it. Is that okay with you, Moonbounce?
Yeah, that's fine, but the movie was longer.
What, the Jones Plantation?
Yeah, they made a movie about it instead of that.
Yeah, this is just like a story, and it's illustrated.
Right.
It's really cool. I'm going to let this play, and I'll bring it up. Let's see here.
Show you that I can come up with a conspiracy theory as well. Now, this conspiracy theory has no evidence. So we're not off to a good start, but conspiracy theories have to start somewhere. And then you see, I guess, where the evidence leads. I think it's peculiar, first, that William Shatner is going to Antarctica at almost the same time as the final experiment. But I do think that is just a coincidence, a happy coincidence.
Sure, right? That's just a coincidence. Yeah. Hang on, I'm finding it. Okay, all right. I had to find this real quick. All right, let me put this back in. I'm switching tabs.
Incidents. Is that what Bob Ross used to say? But now Neil deGrasse Tyson, somebody who has been very vocal against flat Earth, while at the same time being unwilling to engage flat earthers, at the same time acting like flat Earth is not a big deal. So this is a crazy conspiracy theory that I've come up with, but I think the flat earthers need to consider it. What if Neil deGrasse Tyson has been following the final experiment?
What if the same people behind the final experiment are the same people behind you and behind Tyson and behind the rest of these fucking clowns? Come on, bro.
And
You know, I was going to say, Saul, you know what really gets me is they keep bringing up Neil deGrasse. You know what I'd like is to hear Don Pettit. Let's hear his input on it.
Okay, look, here's what I think. So he's getting ready to go up to the ISS again, or at least that's what was on space.com. And here's what I really think. I think Don Pettit really does think that he's there. I really think Don Pettit thinks he's been up in space, because I think that he's a mind-controlled fool. I think that he's like one of their mind control victims, and he has been hypnotized to believe that he is really in space and shit. So I believe that he actually believes he's been up in space. And there again, another case, I guess you don't need to be in tip-top condition anymore to go up into space. You can be a damn near an octogenarian and just, you know, strap on a fucking rocket and go on up to space. You know, come on. You're getting really reckless.
That it's difficult to nail down a flat earther or two to get them signed up to go to Antarctica. And what if he's anticipating, as a lot of people are, that no flat earther will go to Antarctica? You've heard the claims from the Globe side. They think that no flat earther would ever go to Antarctica because it would refute their beliefs. And if they're grifting, end their grift. That is what the Globe side is saying. I don't believe that. Okay, I don't believe that, at least about Jaron Campanella and Austin Whitsitt. What if this whole thing where Neil deGrasse Tyson is now going to Antarctica this December with William Shatner is an opportunity that he's looking for? So here's my conspiracy theory.
You know, Shatner's going to have to carry his dirty diapers out. He's not going to be able to leave them there. They don't have facilities for old people diapers and shit. So he's going to have to carry that out.
He's got people for that.
He's got a green bitch that does that shit for him.
My conspiracy theory is that he's going to go on the assumption that no flat earther is going to go to Antarctica with the final experiment. And he's going to state that he's been to Antarctica now and he's seen the 24-hour sun with his own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
See the problem?
Now, I want people to really understand this. We have had people in Antarctica for the better part of a century at least. Okay? Film, cameras, ways of recording things has been around for just as long. Okay? We've had people come back that have been down there for 18 months in different locations and said there's no fucking 24-hour sun. Mike Horner, who went and hikes and shit way deep into Antarctica, said in the summertime, when the sun goes down, it gets well below freezing. What? No 24-hour sun? You were there during the supposed solstice time, right? Yeah. Well, guess what? So what is this fucking shit really? Come on, y'all. If people can't see this for what it is, man, I don't know how to help you, man.
Problem. If you don't, the problem is very clear. You're going to have a man who despises flat Earth go to Antarctica, knowing full well that flat earthers had the opportunity to go to Antarctica for free and see what the sun does and take advantage of that opportunity and state, hey, I saw the 24-hour sun with my own eyes. What excuse or rebuttal would you have against him?
So why is it so important to you, Duffy? Why don't you just go? Why do you got to have an entourage? What's in it for you? You ain't doing this just out of your own benevolence of your heart or because you give a shit about flat earth or globe or any other such thing. Okay? Don't you have abortion clinics to protest and stuff? Man, you mean you would spend six figures for someone else to go to Antarctica to make an observation for you? Does this make sense? It's a lot of money. You're in a lot of financial problem already as it is. How much fucking money do you really have? You might be going to pound me in the ass prison for that kind of shit. You got the Security and Exchange Commission on your butt, man. What? Dude. Come on. He's a nice guy, my ass. He ripped motherfuckers off. That's why he's in court.
You wouldn't. And he knows full well if you turn down a free trip to Antarctica,
little mini Bernie Madoff.
He's
I
got
have
you
a question
for good, because you can't come back at him.
Hey, Saul,
Yeah.
do you think that what he's doing is like the pitch that he gave all those investors that he got their money from?
Oh, it's definitely a fucking pitch. It's definitely a pitch. Are you kidding me? This guy's selling. He's selling. Think about what I said. He's going to drop six figures so that someone else can go and make an observation for him. An observation that there's been almost the better part of a century for people to have made. And then said this is going to be the be all and end all of the whole fucking argument. Really? It hasn't been so far. Right? So what is this shit really? This guy's full of shit, bro. You can see it in his fucking eyes, man.
Free trip to Antarctica, he's got you for good. Because you can't come back at him and say, no, you didn't. Nuh-uh. Because you weren't there. And he knows full well you could have been there, and you don't have an excuse to not go because you could have gone for free, or you could.
Oh, what's the matter? Are you a chicken? No, I don't fucking trust you, you demon. Okay? You dig? There's a lot of red flags with you, bro. A lot of red flags, man.
Could have attempted to crowdfund or something. And so this makes me a little nervous. If, again, this wild conspiracy that I came up with is true. And so I want to emphasize something that flat earthers seem to be missing. Most flat earthers out there are making me the enemy. They're demonizing me. I'm not the enemy.
It's because you are the enemy. You are the opposition. You are controlled opposition. Okay? The best way to control the opposition is to be the fucking opposition.
So then he's telling the
you
truth.
You are a thief, a crook, and a liar. Okay? Why would anyone trust you? Because you say you're a pastor? Because you claim to be a Christian? Come on. That's impersonation. What are you doing, Duffy? Anybody can be ordained. You know, I could be ordained as a minister online in about half hour.
Hey, Saul, that's something that's got me too. And it's not that I don't believe in intelligent design, but I know a lot of flat earthers are doing that, going, hey, man, you believe my way or in the flat earth, it brings you closer to God. It's kind of like that same kind of deal. It's almost like they're bringing God into the ordeal for their perspective.
See what Dave says? Do you hear Will using all the globe words, nah, grift, etc.? Yeah. It's like one of the first things to notice. It's like, okay, we know who you've been talking about. It's like, who's that other fool that went out there? Lore Lodge. Or no. Veritas. Veritas was the name. And he put out this like 8 hours, almost 8 hours of flat earth smash, right? And it's like, who in the is going to watch all of this? And I'll tell you what, Flatzoid went through the entire thing. And that guy said, oh yeah, I produced that all myself. And it's like, it says right in the description, you collaborated with McToon, McKeegan, and fucking Craig McNeil. So come on, brother. You ain't fooling anybody, man. Caught you right out the bat. There ain't no way you put out that video all by yourself. No way. Because you even admitted that those guys picked out clips of shit for you to show. Dude. And this is what's getting me, man. This desperate attempt. It's gotten to the point of such desperation that it's freaking ridiculous. It's like, methinks the lady doth protest too much, because this thing is hitting that tipping point. I knew we were going to see some shit like this. As soon as I said, what's going to happen with that tipping point? I said, they're going to try to hit it with everything they fucking got. And it's not going to work. I've seen the future, folks. It's not going to work. This thing is dead.
Just stop for a minute and set aside the fact that I'm a glober. Just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean they're the enemy. I set up something, the final experiment, that I think has never been done before, which is the most fair and the most
never been done before. So this is like the first time anybody's ever been to Antarctica, right? Even though ALA has been advertising this trip under the slogan of "Come see the 24-hour sun," right? Come on, Duffy. You're not fooling anybody.
Unbiased situation imaginable. I've eliminated the money aspect, which could have discriminated against people or flat earthers. And I've invited both sides. And now we're in a position where I'm offering to pay for 2 flat earthers to go to Antarctica and not just one. Please, flat earth community, I beg you, do not allow this to become a situation where people are going to be able to just claim that they saw a 24-hour sun.
Why would any of us give a shit what any of them fools claimed in the first place? I mean, does anybody really take them serious at all? I don't. I don't give a shit what those guys claim. I don't care what they say. They can say whatever the hell they want to about me. I don't care. Man, I got the thickest goddamn skin you ever saw. Man, I'm a Sigma. I don't give a fuck what people say about me. I'm my own fucking band, man. You know, you don't have to play my song. I don't give a shit. That's how I roll. So that shit don't work on me. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. You want to say some shit? You want to act like a child online about something? I don't give a crap. See you doing that anyways. It's not helping your case any. You're not winning. This shit's growing more and more every day, and it's your behavior that is causing it to grow. That's what's so beautiful about it. People see somebody like Professor Dave debating Austin Whitsitt and acting like a complete asshat. I mean, who in the hell keeps a bottle of ranch dressing in their fucking bedroom at their mom's house, man? Really? Come on. You guys really, you get onto something and you just beat it the fuck to death, man. Word salad, word salad. What a way to tell people you have a limited vocabulary. That's the best way to do it right there. Especially tell people that you have a limited vocabulary while on a device that is capable of fixing that problem with just a few keystrokes. Oh, wow. So when at the end of the day, just like my man Lucky Haskins always says, at the end of the day, the only thing they got is their fucking pseudoscience and mockery. That's it. And it's not working anymore. Shouldn't have pulled that shit for the last 4 years. People woke up, bro.
With their own eyes, and you can't refute it. You can't respond because you turned down the opportunity to go. Again, please don't take what I'm saying out of context, and please don't say that I'm saying something I'm not. I have zero evidence of this. It just hit me. I'm very focused on Antarctica. I'm very focused on the final experiment.
Stop being muted.
Sorry, man. I was like, this you ought to be more concerned about your little fucking court cases there, bud. You know? He's really concerned about this Antarctica thing. Why? We've already stated there's been people there. So what? What are you acting like this is the only chance and everything else like that? ALE, you can book a fucking flight and do that shit yourself anyways. Don't need you. Kiss my ass. Come on, man. If I wanted to go down there and freeze my ass off to not see a 24-hour sun, I would do it. But why? Why? Especially with you. I don't trust you, Duffy. Nobody should trust you. Look at the fucking shit you're charged with, man. and you're more concerned with Antarctica, you better be concerned about the fucking the SEC and the rest of that, because I'm pretty sure that some charges like that comes also with some fucking pound me in the ass prison time too, unless maybe you come to an agreement and, I don't know, help run a psyop like the final experiment. I don't know, Duffy. Maybe you ought to come on my show one night and talk to me about it. I don't know. Maybe go on Burn the Corporate Fiction or Not Chiquita. Maybe go on one of them shows there and talk about this and your connections to Bob Enyart and all the rest of that bullshit too. Dude, you are not legit. You are not legit at all. A pastor who got rich through usury and cheating, frauding people out of money? Are you shitting me? Come on, man. You might as well just take off the mask, Scooby-Doo. The caretaker did it.
Experiment, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, last week, Neil deGrasse Tyson is surprised that he's now being invited to go to Antarctica this December. It's weird. And they've invited someone else to go with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I'm going to save that for next week, but that makes it even weirder. And that makes the conspiracy theory.
How do you know about it then? How do you know about it, Duffy? If nobody else knows, but you know, and you're going to talk about it next week, but you know now, way to show your hand, bro. God damn, do you even play poker?
Even more plausible. And I want to show you one more clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson, because if this conspiracy theory is true, he's already started laying the groundwork for it. Check out what else he said.
And especially Antarctica, deep in the Antarctic Circle, where the sun don't set that time of year.
You hear that? He's already laying the groundwork that there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica where the sun doesn't set, so that all of this can just be seen.
And it's just a coincidence, though, Duffy. The people behind this final experiment, not you, aren't in touch with him as well, huh? Yeah, right. Dude.
Seamless. He makes the prediction. It's what the globe says has to happen. Then he goes to Antarctica and he tells the world, we saw a 24-hour sun. William Shatner tells the world, before I died, I saw a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Now, I believe there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but I'm going to figure out for sure. I created the final experiment so that we can know for sure, so that we no longer have to believe people just in case they're lying. This is a great opportunity for a man like Neil deGrasse Tyson to lie to everybody, especially if flat earthers don't go. And so you need to consider this. Again, I'm conspiratorial. I don't mind a good conspiracy, but there's got to be evidence for it. And this doesn't.
No, wait a minute. You know, I got to say that I kind of cringe and have for the last, oh God, I don't know how many years, at the word conspiracies. People ask me, oh, you believe in conspiracies. And I'm like, fuck, how are you so programmed with that word? Well, he's using that buzzword, conspiracies, as he thinks that it will appeal to us. It doesn't. It repels me, because that tells me that you don't even understand anything about what these nefarious things that are going on actually are. They're not theories. They're not theories. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. There's definitely conspiracy to do harm to people on all levels. Absolutely. I'm an analyst. Okay. There's no theory about it. I analyze it. Okay. This is how we've come to find out that you, Mr. Duffy, whether it be through the Justice Department, but who would have influence, and why would it be to the Justice Department's behoovement to put you up to this? Unless, of course, they are being directed by someone else, which I absolutely believe. I smell Langley. I really do. My radar says Langley. Could be Quantico. But there's feds involved. And I don't trust you.
Doesn't have any evidence yet, but it's starting to look interesting. And I just wanted to make everybody aware of it. So take that for what it's worth. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And we'll also see you all next week. Bye-bye.
See, even just the idea that this is a regular program, breaking news, what a coincidence. This guy's going, that guy's going. Oh, look at this scoreboard. It's competition because nobody's ever been to fucking Antarctica before. Oh, look, Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is so fucking psyop. It's not even funny, man. I don't know how people listen. If you want to go down there and see that damn thing, fund your own fucking trip. I mean, think about this, man. It just none of it makes any sense. I'm sorry. It just none of it makes any fucking sense. This guy, I don't trust him any more than I would a fucking pissed rope bridge. There ain't no way.
Hey, Saab, you
Yeah.
say that, if people want to go down there, it's like fund their own trip. But, in reality, is you don't even know where they're taking you.
No, you don't, man. It's a and like I've said, right? Okay, so what's this supposed to do, right? Okay, let's suppose they do see some kind of a solar anomaly. Okay, does that automatically now mean that for all the rest of the mountains of evidence against a globe Earth just go out the fucking window? Well, of course not. That would be stupid. And this guy's acting like it would. Now, I would say he tries to pass himself off as a logical thinking person. But what I see is a glorious lack of logic. I mean, it's the same type of lack of logic I run across when I'll ask somebody, I say, well, how do you know that you live on a globe? And they say, well, look at the sky. I said, I thought we were talking about the Earth. And this is the thing with these idiots. They always want to look at the fucking sky to determine where they're standing. And I'm like, oh, okay. That makes sense. I wonder if my Jeep has enough gas in it. I'm going to go look at the color of my neighbor's shingles on his roof to determine that. What? That just makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Holy crap. My leg
See,
was...
what makes no sense to me is like you can go down there and it's like, hey, let's all see if there's a 24-hour sun. But I'm more like interested in really why Antarctica in the diagram looks like the human brain.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. That is pretty funny. I've seen that before. It's is that just coincidence? And here's the thing too. It's like you never it's supposed to be a continent, but you never see it as anything other than just non-existent. I mean, it's just like a band of ice or a band of cold or whatever on a Mercator projection on the Gleasons or the azimuthal equidistant map. We see it as an ice ring. I do believe that the Alberuni map is probably more accurate as to the actual Earth than any of the other projections where they're using globe coordinates. But who's to say? Like I say, you have to calculate those vast distances across the ocean, and those are done by observation and calculation, whereas distances across land are measured with statute miles. And then, yeah, I mean, this is just some of the crazy shit that goes along with that. I urge people to really look into that and how they came up with these coordinates and these meridians. And there was some bullshit behind it, but it did bring us advancements in timekeeping. So that's interesting. It's just an interesting subject all around. But here we are so enough about the thing. It's a psyop. We've got it figured out. Boom. Psh, no need. So let them do whatever the fuck they want. How the hell do those penguins and polar bears jump up that height? The the penguins aren't found at that area. They're like on those peninsulas and shit that are along those little shores or those rocky outcrops. Polar bears are in the north, though. Okay, polar bears are not in the south. They live only in the north. See, and this is another thing too. A globe should have reciprocal flora and fauna, and I'm not saying as far as species-wise, I'm just talking in abundance-wise. So on a spherical Earth, if it were what they were telling us, it's say below 60 degrees south, should have the same amount of flora and fauna as you do at 60 degrees north. Yet we find a glorious lack of flora and fauna at the opposing degrees to the north. So that's another very telling thing. So I don't know, whatever. I don't see this as an experiment. We were going to talk about how people have been manipulated. We're going to go into this more on the 4th of July. I wanted to show everybody, if they haven't seen it, this is a good animated thing. It's called the Jones Plantation. It's only 12 minutes long, but very informative and kind of shows how this great experiment that we believe took place when we declared independence on July the 4th, even though we registered as a corporation in London on July the 3rd, 1776. But anyway, this might give you a better understanding as to how this entire thing works.
Mr. Jones owned a cotton plantation and many slaves. One day he was talking to the owner of the plantation next to his, and Mr. Jones was lamenting the fact that times were tough. He was having to work his slaves harder than ever and was having trouble with some of them being disobedient or trying to run away. The other plantation owner said he knew someone who could help.
Day 1.
One day, Mr. Jones called his slaves together so a man named Mr. Smith could talk to them. Before beginning, Mr. Smith whispered to Mr. Jones, "Whatever I say, do not contradict me or interfere, and I promise you your slave troubles will end." "My name is Mr. Smith," he said to the slaves, "and this may be the happiest day of your lives. From today forward, you will no longer be slaves, but free men." Mr. Jones was so shocked he started to step forward, but Mr. Smith gestured for him to remain silent. He did, only because the other plantation owner had spoken so highly of Mr. Smith's skills. "You are no longer the property of Mr. Jones," Mr. Smith continued. "You are free. No more would you be forced to labor for the benefit of Mr. Jones. Now you can work for yourselves." Now the slaves were all murmuring and looking at each other. Many were smiling, many were looking puzzled. "In fact, you are now free to leave the plantation whenever you want," Mr. Smith said. "However, since we are surrounded by other plantations, if you leave, some other plantation owner will likely claim you as his own the moment you set foot on his property."
Because those other countries aren't as free as you are, you see. You don't want to go anywhere else. You want to stay here because this is where you're free.
"So I urge you not to risk your newfound freedom by doing something so foolish. Instead, I suggest that you stay here, no longer as slaves, but as willing participants and part owners of this plantation. Yes, this is now your plantation." Mr. Jones bit his tongue to keep from objecting. "For now, we might as well leave Mr. Jones in charge," said Mr. Smith, "since he is the only one with any experience at running a plantation, which is quite a complicated thing to manage. But he will no longer be your master, but just another worker on the plantation. In fact, he will now be using his organizational and management skills to serve you. Whatever problems you may have had with him before, you are now all equals, and you need each other to make this work. If we all cooperate and work together, we can all reap the benefits together. In honor of this happy occasion, I present you this new symbol of togetherness and cooperation, this flag, which shall be the emblem of the new free Jones Plantation." He held up the new flag, but most of those listening were still too amazed to respond. "And this shall be our motto," Mr. Smith announced. "We work together as free men for our mutual benefit, pledging our allegiance to the Jones Plantation, which stands for prosperity, liberty, and justice for all. To celebrate, everyone has the rest of the day off. Enjoy your freedom, do as you please, and be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, so that we may begin work on this great and noble new endeavor as equal free men." Finally convinced that Mr. Smith was serious, the former slaves applauded and cheered.
Day 2.
"We all want this plantation to do well," Mr. Smith said at the beginning of the next meeting, "so we can all share in the benefits. We all know that it takes a lot of effort to make a cotton plantation work. Just because you're all free doesn't mean you can stop working. In fact, since you're now working for yourselves, I expect you to work even harder than ever before, but now with pride and joy, knowing that you're working for yourselves. Of course,
patriotism because of your freedom and shit. See, you can build a direct correlation to this, man.
Of course, there still have to be rules. If everyone just does whatever he wants, the plantation won't produce anything. This experiment will fail and we'll all starve. You should be thankful that Mr. Jones has agreed to stay on to lend his knowledge and skills to this endeavor, and I trust you will all do your own part to make this work. Several of you have been chosen to act as project supervisors to manage different aspects of the operation, to make sure everyone is doing his assigned job, to make sure that the rules are followed, and so on.
Cops.
The rest of you may head out to the fields to start your first day of work as free men.
Day 3.
The next morning, Mr. Smith had a grim expression on his face as the daily meeting began. I have an unpleasant duty to do today, he said. Yesterday, Charles was caught keeping some of the cotton he picked, presumably to sell for his own personal profit. That is against the rules. That is stealing. For that, Charles must be punished. 2 men tied Charles to the whipping post. I take no joy in this, Mr. Smith continued, but you must understand, if we do not maintain order, if we do not have rules that we all abide by, then the plantation will fail and we will all suffer. The whip cracked against Charles' back. But if we all pitch in for the common good, then we can all prosper. Being free doesn't mean you should be selfish and greedy. We must each do our assigned duties and obey the rules, and then we can all benefit, and each of you will receive your appropriate share of the profits.
Justice.
A young man named Samuel stepped forward. But if you and Mr. Jones decide the rules and whip us if we disobey, how is that any different from what we had before? How can you say that? Mr. Smith asked. I'm shocked. You were a slave before, and now you're free. Things still need to be managed and organized by those best qualified to do so. Do you know how to run a plantation, Samuel? Well, no, he answered. But if we're free, why do we get no say in what the rules are and how things work? I'm surprised at your ingratitude, Mr. Smith answered. None of you know how a plantation is run, so you're in no position to be making decisions about how things are done here. You don't seem to appreciate all the things that Mr. Jones provides for you, from protecting you from all the outside threats you know nothing about, those who would come here, capture and enslave you, if not for Mr. Jones' protection, to making sure that you all have food and housing, tools to work with, you're cared for when sick and injured, and so on. There wouldn't be a plantation at all, no cotton to pick, no land to plant and harvest, if not for him. You should be grateful that he's made possible the level of comfort you now have. Your lives would be far worse if not for him. Nevertheless, as free and equal participants in this endeavor, from now on at each meeting, any worker may have 2 minutes to ask questions or voice suggestions or complaints. With that, the workers all seemed satisfied and headed out again to the fields to pick the cotton.
Day 4.
I have a big announcement, Mr. Smith said as the daily meeting began. Mr. Jones' cousin is here, and not just to visit and see how our project is coming along. It has been decided that from now on, you will be deciding who will manage the plantation. Of course, this job can't be done by just anyone, but every 3 months we will have a special meeting at which all the workers will vote on whether we think Mr. Jones should run the plantation or whether we think his cousin, Mr. Johnson, should run the plantation. That means that ultimately you are in charge because you will be deciding which man you want running things on your behalf. If you don't like the way things are being managed, you now have the power to change it. Amazed and pleased, the workers headed out again to the fields to pick the cotton. Days passed, months passed, a year passed, and the plantation continued to operate as before. Sometimes Mr. Jones was in charge, sometimes Mr. Johnson was in charge, but the day-to-day routine stayed exactly the same.
Old boss, same as the new boss, right? It's the same as the fucking presidential thing, same guy. It's always there.
The workers worked hard, long hours every day and still had little to show for it. Every day the meeting would begin with them all reciting the Jones Plantation motto, "We work together as free men for our mutual benefit, pledging our allegiance to the Jones Plantation, which stands for prosperity, liberty, and justice for all." One day, Mr. Smith announced, "Samuel is asked to say a few words this morning, and whatever the rest of us may think of his ideas and opinions, we are all free here, and that means we are all allowed to speak our minds. So, Samuel, you have 2 minutes. Begin. Samuel stepped forward, looking scared. I was excited when all this started, he began, glancing nervously at Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones. But don't you all see what's happened here? Nothing has changed. We're all still slaves. There were grumbles of disagreement from the crowd. They tell us what to do and whip us if we don't. They still make all the rules and punish us if we disobey. They let us make suggestions and complain about things, but they never really change anything. They let us choose between Mr. Jones and Mr. Johnson, but what's the difference? The situation stays the same. We do all of the work and they take as much as they want and decide how much they'll let us keep. They live in luxury, made rich by the cotton we pick. We do all the work and have to build our own huts, grow our own food, and take care of ourselves. They leave us just enough that we don't revolt or run away. This is not freedom. We're all still slaves. They've only changed the words they use, but nothing else has changed.
Hello, 14th Amendment.
They say we're all free and equal, but we're not. They command and we obey. That's not freedom. That's not equality. They say we're free to leave, but all that means is that we're free to be someone else's slave. Why should we work or obey the rules? We didn't agree to this. They made the system. They forced it on us. They control and rob us and call it freedom. They've deceived you into thinking that being able to choose which slave master you'll work for is the same as being free. It's not. Open your eyes. If you keep what you produce, they call it stealing. When they take what you produce, they call it sharing and fair distribution. Can't you see that this is all? Your time is up, Samuel, Mr. Smith announced calmly. At his gesture, 2 supervisors grabbed Samuel by the arms and led him to the whipping post. I'm sorry, Samuel, but you've broken the rules. There are rules.
Insurrection. Yeah, you're trying to cite up mutiny. This is what they fucking do to you too, man. This is exactly what they do, right? So that's why I say, man, it's just like, we need a stop. We need just a big stop.
Rules against encouraging others not to work and encouraging others to break the rules. You're only hurting all of us with your discontentment and your complaining and your disobedience. The whip fell and Samuel let out a grunt. Without rules, without order, all would be lost. Without law, there would be chaos. We can't just behave as wild animals, each doing whatever he pleases. We must all follow the plan and all do our duty for the betterment of everyone. And those who do not must be punished. The whip fell again and blood flowed freely from Samuel's back. Samuel, it is you who are stealing from the others. When you don't do your assigned work, you are making more work for others. When you disobey the rules, it is you who are endangering the future of everyone else here. You are the thief. You are the criminal. You are the one trying to destroy the arrangement that keeps us all safe and prosperous. At every lash of the whip, the other workers cheered louder and louder, some yelling curses at Samuel. Being spoiled and selfish, you complain about everything, talking as if you're oppressed. But you are the one ruining things. You are the one keeping us from being all we could be. It is your greed and your rebelliousness that is hurting all of us. They all play by the rules, Mr. Smith said, gesturing at the others. What makes you think that you don't have to? You think you're above the law? There were loud yells of agreement as the whip fell again. We must maintain order, Mr. Smith proclaimed, to make this plantation great, to make it so that we can all be happy and prosperous. To
make the plantation great again.
have the society we want, there have to be rules. We all have to contribute our fair share to this great endeavor, and we cannot tolerate actions and attitudes that seek to undermine the amazing things that together as free men we have achieved and will continue to achieve. Mr. Jones was smiling as he gave Mr. Smith a pat on the back. The crowd was cheering so loudly that none of them had noticed that Samuel had died.
Yeah, too caught up in the frenzy of their own fucking...
What you have been taught about government and politics is no more accurate or reasonable than what Mr. Smith taught the slaves. If you're ready to look through the veil of rhetoric and propaganda to see the reality beneath, get a copy of The Most Dangerous Superstition. It will change the way you see the world.
So we'll probably be banned in some territories or something because of that, but I don't fucking care. I'm sorry, man. I just don't. And this is a fundamental question that people need to ask. Don't ask other people. It's a question people need to ask themselves. What gives someone else a higher claim over someone's life and property than the person whose life and property it is? In other words, what gives someone a higher claim over your life and property? Is there anything other than your belief, other than your consent? Because after all contracts must be consensual. So that's why I say we need a big stop. People say, oh, there might be a revolution or a civil war. You know, all we got to do is just 20% of us just go, fuck you, and just stop. Pay no taxes. Don't fucking register your car. Don't do none of that shit. Don't go out and do mayhem. Of course, it's not in your nature to do mayhem. Well, why are you, adhering? Why are you paying these fuckers to do things that they're not really doing anyway? All they're doing is figuring out ways to take more and more of your shit, thieving you under the guise of protection, right?
It reminds me of the 3-key solution: Control, Alt, Delete.
Yeah. I mean, do you realize what would happen if just like 20% of the people just said, fuck you, we're not paying our taxes. We're not listening to you anymore. We're not going to go out and hurt anybody or steal shit or anything else like that. But we're all done, man. And what if everybody just decided, you know what? Who needs these clowns? They get us in fights with other people in other nations. It wasn't my fight. My kids got to go off and fight in it, or I might have to fight in it, or some other shit because of some bullshit these guys did. I mean, think about the ridiculousness of this. They say we have to have government because the common man is incapable of ruling himself. That's not true. But you go ahead and if you engineer them that way, it's true. But in all reality, you know the difference between right and wrong. Could you go the rest of your life without committing an act that would leave a victim, cause loss, injury, or harm, without someone threatening you with the barrel of a gun? No. And do they really protect you from someone trying to do harm to you? No, they do not. No. That's why I take my own security into my hands. I don't
But
rely on.
But that's what that plantation thing just showed you, is that if we don't recognize, when you go, who needs the government, is like, we have to recognize we are the government. We are our own government. We are our own master.
Well,
It's like, if there's a government, you have to realize that you are that responsibility. You yourself
somebody
are.
just mentioned the Civil War a little bit ago in the chat, right? The conflict between the states here where I live, it's known as the Second War of American Independence, also known as the War of Northern Aggression. A lot of people don't really realize what that was, is because the United States of America was founded as a confederacy. Now, what is a confederacy? It's the opposite, of a federation. Okay, now with a federation is top-down control. In other words, a central government with weaker satellite governments. Okay, the United States was formed, as its name implies, a unification of countries on the American continent. Okay, because a state is a country. A lot of people don't realize
Except for the District of Columbia isn't a country.
No. It's the District of Columbia was set up and designed to be an area of impartiality because it was no state could claim it. So it was a neutral ground to do the nation. Now, a nation is a conglomeration of states or countries or tribes.
But it's actually a foreign agency.
Well, a nation is just like a confederation. So what I mean by that is like we all have the same values. Our constitutions of each country match that of the United States in order to achieve statehood. Okay. Now, what that doesn't mean is that Washington, D.C. has any power over any of the 50 countries that are unified on the continent and off now with Hawaii. But you see what I'm saying? We're just an alliance, okay? We're a nation because we are countries that are an alliance. However, each state reserves its own independent sovereignty. This is why you even have states and state constitutions. And each state has its own flag. And it has its own capital. And there are state laws. Okay. So the federal government's not supposed to have any business in any state whatsoever. There should be no federal government. That's the whole point. So when Lincoln took power through executive orders and dictatorial assumed powers, started turning the country from a confederation into a federation. And the other states said, wait a minute, that's not what we signed up for. We don't want to be a part of your nation anymore. You're changing the rules. Okay. And what I mean by that, a great example, I believe it was told by General Kemper on the evening before the big battle in Gettysburg on July the 3rd. Today, actually. Wow. Yeah, Pickett's charge. I believe he described it as if you looked at it like if we joined a club, almost like, the moose or, maybe the elks or the eagles or something like that, right? You join up and you pay a dues and you get benefits for being a part of that organization. And, that's fine. You adhere to rules when you're at the Eagles Club and everything else like that. And you try to maintain the decorum of that particular lodge or whatnot, right? But then what happens is now the management of the lodge changes. And they completely change the rules up to and including telling you what you can and cannot do in your home. Now they've extended their reach into your home. Now, does this actually, I recognize that, beautiful girl. You're muted. But do you see what I'm talking about? Do you get where I'm going with that?
Well, you got me at the into your private home, where actually
Right. Okay,
they're more at to tell you
what would
what
you
you can do in your public.
Right. So think about this. Think about this. You're a member of the Eagles Club, and the Eagles Club has some kind of a rule that they pass now that you can't have a certain kind of curtains or a certain kind of furnishing in your home. Would you be within your right to draw the line and say, okay, that's not the thing that I signed up for. I am resigning from your club. I don't want to be in your club anymore. You've got the right to quit that club, right? Well, that's exactly what the southern states did. That's exactly what they did.
No, they did the homeowners association. You have to have your lawn this way because we can see it. You have to have your paint this way. You have to have it's not about what's inside. It's about the outward appearance.
But these
That's
were
what they were most
listen,
concerned.
these were assumed powers that they took. What's up, Lowry? Those were assumed powers that did not exist in the government. This is why he was seen as a tyrant and a dictator. He was badly hated. He was a badly hated man. He was the first Obama, really. He jailed his detractors in the press. He suspended habeas corpus. This guy was awful. He was freaking awful. He put Baltimore under martial law. He shelled New York City. This guy was really a bad character, but he's apothecated through our history. He who wins the war writes the history. And they got this big statue of this baboon placed in what I believe was already there, a temple of some sort of Roman design. But anyway, how are you doing tonight, Nico? Tinfoil sombrero, you're muted. Do you know how to unmute yourself? Unmute yourself. We can't hear you. You have a
Come
mute
out of the closet.
Come on. Nico, you're muted. Nico, you're muted. Unmute your mic.
She leaves instead.
I don't know what happened there, but anyway, tinfoil sombrero will be back in the closet. I see too. That's crazy. But yeah, this is yeah, I don't know. Where was we at, man? It's getting late.
We were at Shatner going to Australia, down there to.
Come the fuck on, man. For real. This whole thing, I mean, they're acting like this is the first time anybody's been to Antarctica. Like it's, we're going to land on Mars. Yeah, sure. Right. Okay. Nobody's ever been there before. Been there for the better part of a century. Hasn't anybody done any video then or nothing? Nobody noted this or, said, hey, this is true. Look, here we have proof of it. No, we get these fake time lapses and all kinds of crazy shit. Same thing like with NASA. The lie crumbles. The lie always crumbles every time.
What is it that's so protected there? Because, like, if you watch documentaries or stuff like on Discovery or something about it, they'll show cars like blazing across there, pulling trailers, just bouncing over stuff, and it's just like, what is it that's there to protect that they're so worried about? Because these people don't care.
Dude, this is what I think. It's an immigration policy from whoever lives there or beyond. I don't think it's our idea. I think it's an agreement. I really do. And I think that if that agreement is breached, that it could somehow trigger something pretty catastrophic. I don't know. It's just an idea I had.
Do you think that's what's happened from like the mud floods in Tartaria? Do you think that people's actually we're going past Antarctica and then they've just jacked everything up and put us back into like the ice age, and now we're starting back over and we're going to get to Antarctica again, and then we're going to get zapped into oblivion and start all over?
I don't know. It seems like maybe I've thought about that maybe there comes a time where, like I said, I predicted this flat earth tipping point last year, and I knew it was going to happen this year. And here we are at it. And I'm thinking, it's kind of like the 100th monkey effect. Are you familiar with that?
But I've seen that 13 monkeys.
No, the 100th monkey effect. It's an interesting phenomenon that takes place after a certain number of people come to a conclusion about something. It's almost like it spreads through a web of thought that people pick up on everywhere in the world. One of the examples I like to use is like the advent of the bow and arrow. The progression of the bow and arrow from its inception to its finality as a crossbow seemed to come about without intervention of people meeting in different parts of the world around the same time, which is really quite interesting to me. So I think we're at that point. And with that, they have one of two things: to either try to continue fooling the masses or just shut us down completely. And like somebody's has already suggested, a type of reset, kind of like with the orphan trains and the bullshit that we saw happen at the latter part of the 19th century into the early 20th century. Incubator babies.
I'm kind of the same thing. We can't remember. We're in kind of a collective sort of daze, as it were.
Amnesia. It's amnesia, Lowry. It's a collective amnesia.
Yeah. And so, like, what you have with it is like we're catching up with it again. So, it was clear. I spent like the last fall going through whatever happened in the American Southwest, and something at scale that was really violent happened there. I don't know what it was. I have no idea what it was, but it looks like it was violent. And it was at scale. And like when you see it with your own eyes and you look at it, you're like, geez Louise, what the hell was this? Right? So like, but here's the thing. It's like I don't buy any of this bullshit about, getting in a soul trap or anything like that. We are here to find out what the fuck happened. We're here to find out what happened. And I think, honestly, the more we talk to each other, the more that we have this group conversation, we're going to figure it out. And we're not doomed. Anybody in here is listening, do you think we're doomed? We're not fucking doomed. That would be the worst design of any sort of philosophical position as you move forward. We're not doomed. We're not.
Look, I am so excited because look at. Now this is going to sound almost sick, but I'm like, look, we've got front row seats to the collapse of civilization right now.
Yeah, indeed.
We're front row seats. Not shit I can fucking do about it except observe and report. That's it. Man.
That's it.
And does it scare me? Not a fucking lick, man. I don't fear anything. I do not have fear.
Nicole and I always talk about it's like why are we so like, why am I shadow banned on Facebook? Like I have almost 5,000 friends and I put a video up on there and there's not even one like that. I'm clearly shadow banned. But then she comes back and she was like it's because we're protected. I think the people in this community are a protected bunch of people that are really have, at least our finger on the pulse of something that's making sense for us. Do we know everything? No, we don't know everything. But what we do know is we have the capacity to think for ourselves.
Yes.
First, and that's really what it is.
And one of the things too is you have to realize, even if you don't find the answers to the questions, what are usually the first three questions that an amnesia victim asks? They ask, who am I?
Who am I? Yep.
Where am I? And what day is it?
Yes.
Well, my friends, they've lied to you about who you are, when you are, and where you are for your entire existence. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you're going to be.
That is indeed true.
You have to categorize things. You have to go like this. Okay, this is on this side is stuff that I definitely know. This over here on this side is stuff that I think I know. Okay, so this side over here is called belief. And this side over here is called reality. Because when you pin it down to what you really do know as to what you believe, you find that you believe more than what you really know.
That's correct. And I have a thing about that soul trap thing. It just came to my mind. It's like, well, what are you? You're a living soul. So you're trapped in there, Lori. No matter, you can wake up tomorrow or whatever thinking you're somewhere else. But when it really comes down to it, you're in you. You're in that body, that you of you. You can't get out of there.
Yeah, and there was a long standing conversation that like not a lot of people actually talked about over the course of at least Globebusters, like those course of like 7-8 years.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about, we were like, how do you walk your way out of a soul trap once you're out of this place and you're up to the next place? And do they guide you back in? And we had hours of conversation about this. Do you follow the light back in and get trapped in the same cycle, or do you look out at everything else once you pass this, whatever you call this thing, this little school that we're in down here, this place where we're living in, we're living in a school.
We're living in a non-tropical.
What if there's this tunnel? Hold on. What if there's this tunnel and you see this light and you're encouraged to go to the light, and you feel like you must go to the light. And so you go ahead and you go to the light. And when you come through the light, you find yourselves in the gloved hands of a masked doctor. And you've just been born again. And you're quickly getting amnesia as you realize what just happened.
Yeah.
You're getting slapped on the butt.
Hey, Nicole, you're muted, by the way.
I told her that a million times.
She's muted. She's only like 6 versions into broadcasting now, so she's learning all like the things. But like,
How many buttons are on her mic?
Dude, I mean, like broadcasting in itself is like this big shit show. But like what we're talking about is the biggest stuff ever. Like I always said that flat Earth is the biggest thing ever outside of your spiritual thing. Your spiritual thing is your own thing. You go through that. You're on your own. That's your journey. It has nothing to do with me. Has nothing to do with anybody else talking to you about it. You go through that on your own.
Right.
Outside of that, flat Earth is the biggest fucking thing. We live in it every day. Every day we live in it. There's a reason why we're all sitting here talking
Mm-hmm.
on 3 or 4 fucking YouTube shows every week
Mm-hmm.
to try to figure this fucking shit out, you know? And like, I could see the pain and the suffering and the panic and a lot of people that just can't quite get past the brainwash. And like, if you really watch like Witset's, like, I'm not worshiping Witset. I love him. I've known him for 5 years, but he's mastered the ability to just not be mad at anti-flat earthers.
Yeah.
You know, even though all the rest of us are just like, that guy's such a douche.
Well, that's what made Professor.
Do that?
That's what made Professor Not a Professor Dave look so fucking shitty. Was the fact that Dave was being an asshole, and Witz is just sitting there like, dude, what's your trip, man?
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
like,
and we could all get better at that, you know. And like, from my perspective, I'm probably the worst at it because I just raise hell and I cuss and I cuss like a sailor. I'm no perfect person, but I get mad. He doesn't get mad, and so I was like, when I talked to Witset 3 years ago, I met him 4 years ago at Flatober the first time. I was like, look, dude, you need to stick to your fucking course. Stick to your course because you're doing it better than we are. Because if you ask me to fucking argue with, like, say, Professor Dave, I'm just gonna crush him. I'm just gonna I will fail. I will fail in that because, like, the guy is a demon, or he's he's like something that I don't understand. You know, and so
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know. Yeah. It's almost a repulsion. It's almost like you're repulsed by them. It's like, you know, that you shouldn't even be interacting with them.
Nicole wants to talk to you guys. She's
okay.
Like, she gave me some notes. She's just like, so give me the soapbox for like 3 minutes. Because if I keep talking, I'll just keep talking.
What's wrong with her microphone in there?
Well, she's still back here.
He's the audio person. I'm not.
Oh, does your audio not work? Is it not?
It's not muted. It's not.
Oh, go back. You can go talk.
No, I don't. No,
I talk too much anyway. I literally talk too much.
Get back in the closet.
I'm going to go back to the closet, the flat earth closet, and fix it.
Take his headphones.
You can talk.
Flat earth closet.
No, you just talk here.
So in the bottom left-hand corner of the frame, you're going to see Lowry trying to fix my audio. But yeah, so. I don't know if it's gonna and he didn't finish the rest of it. My note was, so give me the soapbox for like 3 minutes and help me with the closet audio, please.
Go. 3 minutes.
There you go.
All right. 1. Sovereign, would you like to come on Tinfoil Sombrero? Because I would love to have you and talk about this stuff in more detail.
Man.
That'd be awesome. Because that happens on Sunday. And
all right, let me look and see what's going on, if I have anything Sunday. Recently, I've been getting. Oh wait, my phone's right here. I don't need to do it here.
It's Sunday spiritualist time. Like,
oh, here we go.
Does anybody know about the spiritualism movement?
You know, is that like contacting spirits and shit like that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. My folks got into that a little bit when I was really young.
It's a big thing. So Houdini tried to debunk it, and there's like a whole bunch of controversy about that. But that's exactly why I did not want to come on here. I wanted to talk about this Antarctica thing, and I wanted to talk about it because when you said earlier that William Shatner and Degrassi Tyson or whatever this Duff guy, like, he's just calling everybody's Duff or something. The whole concept about this, coming from a background of production and PR and art direction and, you know, prop styling and movie, TV, commercial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like they're trying to flip the script and maybe get ahead of the narrative, which is what Alex brought up on Strange World, which, by the way, Alex didn't know what to do because you were on and Strange World was on, and he was like, oh my God. So.
I forget they have that show. You know, I hate if I take any views from them or whatever, but the way I look at it, it's probably like people that are watching that probably catch the restream of this later or vice versa. So
vice versa is right. And the cross-pollination behind that concept is exactly what we have to focus on, which is getting around the algorithm. So if we have multiple people speaking on these topics at multiple times and then people cross-pollinate, that is just going to grow.
Were you tuned in when we had the Dave Weiss was on here, and he brought up. He put up the Duffy's court records and shit going on.
Yes, I actually, Alex was on Strange World, but I was watching that. But I just want to ask if anybody has ever been to a crystal shop with Dave Weiss, because I have.
No, I can't say that I have.
I want to raffle off a trip to the crystal shop with Dave Weiss, because he's like a kid in the candy store at the crystal shop.
Dude, I got a couple of little secret hideaway places here that have got shit like that I have this curio cabinet right now. I had to get another one because this thing was starting to get like obnoxiously full
of
different crystals and geodes and pieces of malachite. And
oh my gosh, there's so many topics that we can talk to you about on Tinfoil Sombrero that I feel like just
I've got some really cool. I got smoky quartz. What else I got? I got a Herkimer diamond.
Tourmaline. I've got obsidian here. I've got like rose quartz. I'm obsessed. I love tarot cards. I love crystals. I love spirituality. I love all of this stuff. Like I think energy. I think we are all energy bodies. I think right now what is happening is that we are ahead of the curve, not behind the curve, and not. I mean, that saying that we had when we were kids, like, oh, you're just ahead of the curve. Well,
we had Mike.
Everything just froze.
Hey, I used to like crystal, but it would keep me up for weeks.
Crystals kept you up for weeks. How did that? Did everybody freeze just then?
Yeah, that's what happened. I was going to say, I had Mike LaBrash from the THC, Arthur's Hour of Comedy, was here this last weekend. We went to a dwarf wrestling match. We went through the Luray Caverns. Oh yeah, I've got it on my channel. You'll have to check it out. It was pretty cool. And it was the black dwarf, which was kind of a treat for me because he won, but it was a treat. I had never seen a black dwarf before.
Really?
He was a black dwarfinator.
Yeah, man, he won. He got the belt. But it was wild, man. They all finally, at the very last, they all came out in the ring and started kicking each other's ass and tag teaming. Man, they threw him over the ropes. These guys fell right out at my feet. I was ringside. And I'm filming this thing, and this guy fell right out next to my feet and shit. And this other little midget jumped down on top of him and started whooping his ass right there, almost in my lap. It was crazy.
Gosh. I know. Did you ask them if they felt like they were spinning at like 100 and something miles an hour?
No, but I was very careful that I didn't overlook them. They seem to get overlooked a lot.
I mean, okay,
I didn't want to sell them short.
All right, I'm just gonna bring this back. I mean, I want to talk about dwarfs and dwarfs wrestling all day long because that subject is beyond me. But
listen, I'm sorry. Listen, Nico. Here's what I got going on. Oh, that was bringing me to my next point. I'm going to put it up. I've got it on Facebook, but I'll have to load it up onto YouTube. Mike was here. We did a tour through the Luray Caverns.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool. Some of the wildest formations of stalactites and stalagmites that you'll ever see. These ones that literally look like drapery. They look like drapery going like this, man. Just some really wild shit. So we had a good time with that, man. I don't know if he's put anything up. I've messaged him since he went back, and I haven't heard anything much from him except that I messaged him and told him that one of his little girls left a pair of shoes here. So I got to get he gave me his address. I got to mail those back to him.
Hey, Sovereign. Yeah. Do you think that waving like that, where they went back and forth, was caused by gravity?
Yeah, most likely. Refractive gravillax is probably what caused it. It was a combination of things that we haven't taken into account.
No, it was on the app.
So, Lowry, let me ask you something, man.
He can't hear you because his headphones are loud. But I'll be back because I'm going to go get my clipboard because there are a couple of things that I just want to say because coming from the PR standpoint on this whole thing, I really feel like William Shatner is, Travelocity. He's a fucking gnome.
His name is Shatner.
He shats everywhere. So then you have Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Neil deGrasse Tyson has actually said things that are relatively flat, if you know, and I just feel like they're trying to get ahead of it. And
They're
so
co-opting it.
So basically what I'm saying is that they are trying to predictive program that there could be two Earths, kind of like that concept of like the 3D Earth and the 5D Earth. So both things are existing at the same time, and William Shatner is going to make a whole bunch of money marketing travel to Antarctica. And that's
it's almost like Duffy acts like he's a salesman for ALE.
Right?
Or he does. He sounds like the whole, he knows all about the package and everything about it. And it was like when he was talking about it, so it sounded like he was selling it, and that's the thing I got a problem with him anyways, is because everything he says, he's like, quit trying to sell me on what you're saying, just say it.
Well, here's the thing with me, it was more simple for me. I was like, because a lot of us have been in this game for a long time, and you start to see the way they look on film and the way they present themselves. And I was like, you start to see it. You're like, this guy has, I don't, you see Duper's Delight.
Oh my God, yes.
There's so much Duper's Delight in that. And then you're just like, I mean, it's really super simple. The logic of this thing is super simple. We've got a much cheaper experiment with a gyroscope that we can do without spending $120,000. Take to risk sending some of our best and brightest down to Antarctica to do a thing. It's dumb, But you know what they're going to do is they'll send a production team down there, and they'll make a much better production in front of what we do.
Well, the whole damn thing presented itself as a production right from the get-go, right? It presented itself as a production, what's the final experiment? Who's behind the final experiment? What's inside the fucking mystery box? Ooh, look, a scorecard. This thing is just stunk of that shit right from the beginning. And I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute, man.
They called it the final experiment as if it was like some sort of endpoint. When we've been talking about water, and we've been talking about water level, and we've been talking about lack of measurable curvature for almost 10 years. And they're just going to say this is the final experiment because we go down there. They don't know what the fuck they're going to see down there. I've never been down there. Or I say down. I should stop saying down. Out. I've never been out there. And it's out all the way around. I mean, that's what it is. It's out all the way around. And we keep these word spells keep coming up, and we're like, well, we're going to go down. No, we're not going to go down in Antarctica. We're going to go out. Somebody's going to go out there. Right. It's either going to be Jaron or who the fuck ever is. Or it's probably not going to happen anyway. And, you just go through this whole fucking thing, and you're like, you've got the word spells wrong. The word spells are all fucked up.
What do you think about those? What do you think about those cases?
I'm not caught up on that. What are the cases?
Oh, on those Duffy's court cases. Look at this.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud.
Yeah, no shit.
He's a fraud in no uncertain terms. He was already attached to McToon. I was already like, okay, here we go again. We've been, how many times we've been through this in the last, I don't even know how many years, where somebody sends people to some place and it never happens. It's the same fucking thing.
He's supposed to be in court. Listen, he ought to be more worried about this shit than he should be worried about anybody going to Antarctica, much less spending six figures on it. Look at this, Lowry. This is the allegations he's up on. This is 6/11/24. He's supposed to go to court on the 10th of this month, according to Dave Weiss. It says, so the allegations are unsuitable investments, violation of federal security laws, fraud in offer of sale of securities, fraud in connection with the purchase of sale of securities, violations of Colorado Securities Act, violation of the California Securities Act, California unfair, unlawful, and fraudulent businesses practices, misrepresentations and omissions of material fact, breach of contract, common law fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, negligence, and gross negligence. And the damage amount requested, $360,000. Now this is pending. This is pending.
This is pending. It's still happening. So you've got Jaron and you've got Whitsitt, who are both trying to lean into this thing and go down there. And there's this guy, right? I mean, what do we do with this guy?
There's something seriously off with all of this. It's
well, look at this one. This is another. This is another violations of federal security laws, violations of Colorado Securities Act, breach of contract, and there will be more. Common law fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, negligence and gross negligence. Damage amount requested, $135,000. There's your trip to Antarctica.
Did he think we were not going to find this?
I don't
Did he
know,
honestly think we were not going to figure this out?
He's
Because
going to get pardoned. He's going to get pardoned.
I just didn't like the way he looked at the screen. I'm sorry, I'm that guy. I'm like, I don't like the way you look at me. I don't like the way you look at me. I'm like, it was weird. It was fucking weird. And like, I'm like, dude, you're doing a thing that's like,
it's kind of like are you buying what I'm selling you look, isn't it?
Yeah, like I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. It was kind of like that.
I mean, it's like he's almost like checking your reaction to see if you're buying the shit that he's selling. You know,
do these guys actually know how many people they have looking at them? That's a really weird thing. It's like there are millions of us out here, and we are looking at every single last little razor sharp degree of what you are. What you are, what do you do? What are you up to? I don't think they do. I don't think they know how many people are looking at them, and they think they can get away with this bullshit. Yes, I would like to send down there with cameras, infrared lenses, everything else, and figure this fucking thing out. They don't think that we actually will look at it, and they don't understand that he just dropped into this little fucking thing that we're in the last year. We've been doing it for 9 years, 10 years.
Look who went ahead and jumped in both feet first, right to start with. It was all the usual cast of characters, McKeegan, blah blah blah. All so we know already, right there. Boom. The critical thinkers are sitting here going, "Wait a second, what's the fucking catch?" People have been down in Antarctica for the better part of a century now. You'd figure that this wouldn't even be an argument. So what the fuck is really behind this? And then you start looking into the guy. First is associations. Holy cow. Did you catch any of Nachikita's live the other night? He did on it, or Burn the Corporate Fiction?
Now give me a clip notes.
Oh my God. Well, basically, Duffy was the producer and good friends with a guy named Bob Enyart, who had some serious fucking allegations and some shady shit thrown in his direction. Different fake online personalities, allegations of gang stalking, coercion, all kinds of crazy shit, man. This guy had a thing called shadowgov.com, where he pretty much called for violence against abortion clinics and shit like that. But in any case, this guy was tightly associated with him. And I've listened to some of this guy's shit, Bob Enyart, and I'm like, whoa, this guy's pretty fucking radical, right? But Duffy was his producer. Duffy's known him for years.
So that's
and then Duffy takes over a fucking pastorship of a church that's connected to his church.
Wasn't there a guy that went over to his church and it wasn't even open?
Yeah.
Like, did somebody walk over there and like the church isn't even open?
Couple people.
Yeah.
We got a couple people. Guy was there live on my show on a night that their website said that they were supposed to be open and having services, and the place was closed for renovations. Right. Listen, I'm telling you, man, this thing smelled like rat shit to start with.
No, hold on. It smells like rat shit for a reason. This is all tied into everything.
Yeah, man.
It is, because the Mika Pauly case is tied into this. This Duffy case is tied into this, and they're trying to flip the script. They're trying to recreate a new narrative. They're already posting things in the future.
Yeah, and that's for my big thing. I'm probably behind because I'm a musician, man. I try to do my best I can with this, but I'm seeing like narratives unfolding at such a high rate of speed that it's so easy to see them. And like we were just talking about today, like the Candace Owen co-opting flat Earth, right?
Dude, I was just about to say, I've got the thing from Robot Polisher about that.
Yeah, and it's just like, and you can see it now. You can see like, well, they're going to use whatever they're can
trying
do.
to co-opt it, man.
They're co-opting it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, and then, like, if you haven't gone through the heavy lifting of flat Earth, you all you're going to do is you're going to get embarrassed in front of people, you know. And I will embarrass people because I know most about this subject for 10 years now. And I'm like, I can sit there and talk to somebody about it and give them the data. But the people that are co-opting it, they're co-opting it for power. They're co-opting it for like, I'm going to get all these followers now. I'm going to get all these followers now. I'm like, that's not how it works. Yeah. You don't get flat Earth until you get it. Yeah. And it's like, and this is the whole thing. It's like all the physicists that you thought you knew, that you thought were the big ones. No. You know, it's actually normal people that actually have the ability to look at natural things going on around them. This whole idea of science of well, I've got a degree in blah, 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 blah. No. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You walk out and you observe the fucking world and you fucking share your results with somebody else. That's how it works. That's a scientific method. Scientism is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's been
making assumptions. It's reifying a conclusion. Basically.
And then now Candace, like, I don't know what Candace's position is yet. I'm not selling her out to the fucking ship. I don't know what her position is. She did say something that was nice. She said she's leaving the cult of scientism. If that means something, okay, guess. But guess what? I've done these experiments. I've done them. I've looked out of the Long Island Sound. I got a mirror flash from fucking Connecticut, from Weiss. Over the course of, there should have been 40 foot hidden. It wasn't there. I did it for myself with my own eyes. We got 1,000 of these fucking experiments of people looking, we can see too far. Thousands. And I say thousands conservatively, right? So like, you know, like, we can check these guys. We can check all of these people that are trying to co-opt this thing. And I knew it was going to fucking happen. I knew it was going to happen years ago. They're like, well, we're going to wait until it's like all good. You know, I even put out a false date. I was like, I want all the fucking celebrities to come out on August 5th to fucking say it's flat so that they can fucking get out of their own fucking guilt that they don't want to talk about it, you know? And I said that, I put it out there, I manifested it. And, you know, we'll see. Like I said, there was this one thing that 15% of NFL locker rooms are flat. This is kind of
look,
Travis Kelce or whatever.
This is a double-edged sword is what we got to watch right here. Because even though by permeating into mainstream figures, so to speak, like Candace Owens, Tim Pool, you know, that kind of thing, for it to be filtering out into that is going to get it into the minds of more and more people, okay, because of their popularity. However, do I trust any of these people at all, like Candace Owens and these other ones? Hey, they say some good stuff sometimes, but they're just too goddamned big. And they say shit that would get me kicked off fucking YouTube. So I'm not really understanding how that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on the same page. It's just like, it's like, what the fuck are we supposed to do now? Like, what does my voice matter? Like, am I talking it straight out into the vacuum and nobody listens? You know, my Facebook page is pretty much obliterated.
You have to silence opposition.
To
something. That means that you're the foundation of whatever it is you postulate is very, very weak.
Yeah.
You see, because truth can stand to scrutiny.
It does indeed, and it continues indeed to stand to scrutiny, and that's why it's so easy to be on this side, because it's like, oh, I don't know. You asked me why I think it's flat. I don't know. I went out and checked.
Yeah,
I went out and checked.
It's pretty
and
flat.
A whole bunch of my fucking friends went out and checked, and we, peers, we went out and shared our results with everybody else and got the same fucking result. I don't know how fucking difficult that is for retards to understand. I don't get it. Am I blowing up this fucking audio? I'm sorry.
Yeah, too bad. What the fuck was that? That is the weirdest question that I've heard today. Is how do you ride a rat? Okay, did somebody say there was riding a rat?
How do you ride a rat?
Sorry, there's a whole narrative
you
going
get a
on.
piece of pizza.
There's a whole,
you have to break
the New York pizza rat is actually real, but there's a whole narrative going on and it was about the tram and the Queensboro Bridge, and I said what I like, my favorite modes of transportation or transit in New York is the Queensboro Bridge tram and the East River Ferry.
It's the Spider-Man
And
thing that goes over the river.
Where did it go? Where did it?
I don't know. Everybody's like, these are the kind of things that gives.
Wait.
Hey, Dave, I really love your broadcast, and I think you're doing really good work. And I have to jump over to another broadcast, but I really
I'm getting ready to wind it up myself here. We've gone just a little bit over 3 hours. I didn't want to go quite that long.
I think what you're doing is really admirable, and I really love the shit out of you. And like everybody that's listening here, thank you for hanging out. And I've been fighting so many trolls for so long that
Let's invite some more trolls over to
if you want to
sombrero, and then let's figure out.
If you want to come on tinfoil next week or the next week,
talk more shit.
She said Sunday. She said it was Sunday.
I think that would be good.
It's on Sunday.
Shoot me a link through Messenger so I can just go over there, subscribe, and get a bell. You can get my emails right there in the bottom scroll on the bottom of the screen. Taurus Field 3.
I can find him. I have him on Facebook. I can send him a link. So we'd love to have you on. And the tinfoil sombrero is a very relaxed thing. We can talk tech, but it's just like a bunch of fun. And we'd love to have you over. And we really love your
fun, man.
Yeah, we love your work, and everybody that's listening out here, we really just love you guys. And I got to go over to another show, so I love you guys.
All right. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for coming on. I also want to tell y'all about, damn it, what are they taking me over to Outlook for? I don't want Outlook. Why did you do that to me? You fucking piece of shit thing. Anyway, I don't know what they're doing to me. No, they're really screwing me here. Oh my God.
There's so many glitches right now in the Matrix. There's literally
God damn, now they want me to secure fucking Yahoo and all kinds of shit. Okay, open whatever the fuck, man. So anyway, on the 5th, let me see. I have to use my phone now.
We would be on the
you guys are on the 10th. You guys are on the 10th.
We're on
All
Sunday.
right, so what? All right, so tomorrow night, okay. We're having Mystery NASA Theater 420 on Jaren.
I love that
so much. Wait a second. So the other person that you had on earlier is Andrew B, and he is also part of Tinfoil Sombrero. So we should maybe do something for the thing that you guys are doing. Something like we have to.
We can cross pollinate.
So we don't have to talk about this right now, but I think it's just super cool.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That sounds good. Yeah. This is going to be 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific.
Time is an illusion, so I'm
tomorrow, and it's going to be like Mystery Science Theater 420. We're going to be looking at like NASA films and shit like that, and just cracking up and cracking jokes about it and shit like that.
I can do that all day. I can do that all day long.
Jaren,
I love that.
So join us on that tomorrow, and then let me see. There's something else I have coming up too. Oh, that's right. On the 10th of this month, I'm going to be on Melodome on Trivia for Charity. Of course, Andrew, who was here, he was on there. I think he's the one who asked all the questions and everything on there.
Yeah, he's
yeah. So that ought to be a real good time. And that, of course, let me see.
With Rico too.
That's at 5 o'clock Eastern time. That's going to start. So that should be cool. There's a promo video on my channel that y'all can check out if you want to. Of course, over on Melodome, he's got a promo, and also on Facebook, it's been going around too. So be sure and be there. It's really good. It's had a lot of success so far. I just appeared on the Crypt Rick radio show. Crypt Rick was in the chat. I didn't get a chance to really give him a shout out, but I did put his comments up here. I'm pretty sure he's got a wrench. If you're still around, Rick, please put your deets in the freaking chat so people can find you and your podcasts and everything else like that. There you go. There's Truthers Hours of Comedy right there. He's on the show. On what show? Follow my YouTube if you're not already. Yeah, where are you at, Mystery NASA? Yeah, there he is. What do you think? He just popped in here.
Anyway, I love you, brother, and then keep up the good work, and we'll see you certainly soon. Okay.
Love you too.
Right on, man.
Half full.
Yep.
All right, absolutely. I'm also going to be on a thing called the Josh Monday Show on the 26th, but I'm waiting to hear some more about that or whatever. I think that's still going on. I haven't heard otherwise. I'll give you more details as we get closer to the date. But it's a late hour. Something Wong is starting to get sleepy back there. See, his eyes are starting to close. So it's getting close to time for bed. About time you showed up, Mike. Jeez. Dude, I'm ripped. So anyway, with that being said, I think we're going to close it out. And you know what we like to say on here. The Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey, and see your doctor and get rid of him because he'll probably kill you. So good night, everybody. And don't fall for the psyop, man. Look at it for what it is. Look at it for what it is. See y'all next time.